Welcome to Pub Sports Radio. This is the Loshak in the Bag show for Tuesday, December 14th. He's known as Jimmy the Bag. I'm known as Peter Loshak. And if you are looking for winning sports picks, you have come to the wrong place because that is not how we roll here. It never gets old, Jimmy the Bag. It never gets old. No, that's actually not that funny because it's not true. It really is not true. We have been giving winning sports picks in general, everyone on this show, for quite a while. Am I wrong here? Jimmy the Bag, I just caught your year-ending CFL record. That is very impressive. What was your official CFL record at the end of the year, Jim?
21 and 10. 21 and 10. Let me just tweet that out there. 21 and 10. It was a great season. It was very small sample size. I kept things pretty tight, but 21 and 10, 67.7%. Plus 9.65 units, ROI plus 31.13%, average line minus 112. The first half under was also the biggest bet that I've made in at least last 6 months, I think. And
on the
Grey Cup, yeah, the first half under. And I was extremely confident in it. And it was a no sweat situation. Sit back, relax, and watch the money come in. And it felt really good.
Very impressive. I mean, in football in general, especially professional football, you're never really going to have a huge sample size like you're going to have in like NHL or college basketball or MLB. So for one full season of the CFL, with that kind of ROI, and most importantly, you were expecting it when you went into the season. You weren't like, well, I'll just cap 8 different leagues, and if one of them turns out positive, I'll be like, hey, look at that. You were expecting to do well in the CFL, and you did. That's one thing people don't think about, as much as they should. The sample size is very important, but also expectations. Calling it beforehand is also very important because if you're capping 8 different leagues and you lose in 6 of them, and you break even in 1 and you win in 1, and you pick that one, you'd be like, hey, look what I did. That's not that impressive. But if you have a league that you expect to do well in before the season, you call it and then you do, that is extremely impressive, even if the sample size is 35 games or whatever.
Thank you. It felt great. It really, really did feel great. But in the last week, a lot has gone on. In the last week, you said really wonderful things about my NHL capping, and I completely fell apart. I went after starting on Tuesday, I lost 10 of 11 games in NHL. And was then reaching on Friday and Thursday, like just not confident in myself. Saturday, I only took the Flyers -1. Overall on the season, it's not a disaster. I'm 78 and 85, 47.9%, minus 1.45 units, ROI minus 0.89%, average line plus 109. But it's really frustrating to be here, right? When I thought, I was going for double digits to be up units. So that happened. With the great stuff that went on in CFL, it's been a really rough week in NHL, and it happened right before the holidays, and it's tough to lose money right before the holidays. It was tough, and I got a big chunk of it back on the Grey Cup. But, Pete, there's a couple cappers on this show who are doing spectacularly well. First, you deserve accolades. I don't know if you saw it, but I did tweet out your action here on our show, Pete.
I did, and I appreciate that.
0.4%?
I knew I was doing well, and I've been begging Jim to promote it for a while now because I can't promote it myself. I want someone else to promote it. So then when they promote it, I can be like, oh, it's not that great. Okay, it's a little good. No, thank you. Okay, no, I'm not that great. Oh, wait, maybe I'm a little bit of a great handicapper. I don't know. But thank you for promoting it, Jimmy the Bag. I appreciate it.
I was very impressed. 73 and 50, or 73 and 52, 58.4% plus 14.69 units. So you have an ROI of plus double digits in NHL, NCAA basketball, NFL, and NCAA football.
It's actually even a little bit better because anyone who's been watching my viewers long term knows to not tail me in NBA. So anyone who tailed all that but ignored my NBA picks would be up even a few more units than the people who just tailed everything.
And then in another capper on our show, coming off spectacular work, is none other than Jose Bouquett.
Oh, come on. Now you're just doing shtick. Now you're just, trying to create great content. Is that true?
Jose Bouquett is coming off the best weekend of his career on the show. 4-0 plus 9.01 units. He cashed with Juliana Pena at plus 600. He put it out on video on our show, and people were just like, there's no chance in the chat at plus 600. He cashed on the Falcons plus 2.5 at plus 101. He cashed on the Cowboys -4 at minus 111. Those were really easy cashers that he, very comfortably won. He ran with me on the Grey Cup first half under 21.5. He's won 11 of his last 12 bets he's given out on the show, plus 17.18 unit run. Overall on our show, he is 73-66. Hitting 52.5% plus 13.62 units with an ROI of plus 9.80% and an average line of plus 105. He's been spectacular.
This is like when George Harrison brought in Something and Here Comes a Song to the Beatles, and Lennon and McCartney were like, where did that come from? Holy shit, our little friend is moving up the ranks. Unreal. Congratulations, Jose Bouquett. We knew you always had it. We did. We knew you always had it in you, but we had to let you prove it to yourself. We couldn't let you win us over before you had actually proved it. Congratulations, Jose Bouquett.
That's over the entire history of the show at Pub Sports Radio. To have an ROI of just a taint hair under 10% is incredible.
Unreal. I am not surprised. I'm a little bit surprised, but I'm not shocked. Congratulations, Jose Bouquett. Awesome job. Awesome job.
So, but the last time we started the show with a lot of congratulatory shit, I fell apart in NHL. So let's just.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. I was once, you know, Vlad TV, right, Jimmy the Bag?
Yeah.
I was once watching one of the interviews. It was with someone from Wu-Tang Clan. I forgot what it was. And he was talking about the worst thing someone can do in life is suck their own dick. And I was like, you know what? He's right. He was like, I don't suck my own dick. And I was like, he's right. I'm not going to suck my own. And I think on the Low Bag Show, we should ban sucking our own dicks as well. It's just like, it's not a good look. It sets you up for bad karma. I agree with you, Jimmy the Bag. Anytime you brag, I've been experiencing this for 10 years. Anytime I even as a joke, anytime I brag about how great I've been doing, I go on a terrible run for, a couple of days or a couple of weeks. Absolutely.
Yeah, no, that's well put. That's well put. We've missed, there've been a lot of comments coming in right now, and I haven't been able to, because I have to go up on the other computer here. But I see Dan Kelly, Sammy Culmer, Clint Starr, the diehard MMA podcast, Strategic Investments, Real Deal Prime, Henry Dice, James S., Alex Johnson, Danny Lopez, Slatsy Baby says, I have way too many bets, but I love it. Jets, Bolts, Moneyline Parlay, Wild Regulation, Sharks Regulation, Canucks Regulation, Wild Canes plus 5.5. Isles Moneyline minus 117. We have a giant NHL card we get to go through. We have Dutch Boy Fresh joining us for NBA. He's making his Loshak and the Bag debut. So this will be the first time that Pistol Pete and Dutchy have worked together. Then we have Maxwell Smart joining us, and I'm very excited about all this. Joe Free, Serious Business, Fat Wally, Nate Dogg, Tyrone Coleman, Dennis Trusty went 4-0 last night in the NFL, 6-2 on the weekend. Great job. North Ender, Nut Flush Allen, who I'll be seeing shortly. Guillermo Zertucci, who I'll also be seeing shortly. Gary Malone says Bembry, James Johnson, Aldridge, and Javon Carter all ruled out today for safety and health protocols. Thank you for sharing that with us, Gary. I didn't know it was that drastic. So that's another thing today, and it's going to affect the football show tonight as well. There are massive COVID issues. Mm-hmm. Massive COVID issues in every sport, and it makes things tricky. And there's two ways of handling it, Pete. You can let go of these spots and say, look, there's just these, or we can see if there's an advantage due to the COVID issues.
Absolutely. It certainly makes things more fun, which is really the main reason anyone should be doing this in the first place anyway to start with. So, I agree. Yeah, absolutely. For sure, Jimmy the Bag.
All right, let's get to work. BT, Johnny K, Ulysses Hayes says, Loshak, how you doing? Ulysses Hayes has had our back since day one. He's been rolling with us since we started rolling together. He's rolling with you before I got the chance to sit beside you. Mississippi Kid says, bowl game of the year, Ole Miss +1. Says, take that to the bank, boys. Great to see Mississippi Kid, Paco Healy, all these great cappers, Vincent Siggers, all these great guys. It is now time to get to work, Pete.
All right. Okay. We ready? We're going to start. We're going to try to keep a brisk pace, but at the same time, get all the information in that we want to get in because there's interesting stuff on the NHL card today. And about 3 or 4 of these games I have starred as Ask Jim / Jimmy the Bag special here in terms of of NHL analysis. I will say one thing, Jimmy the Bag, just very quickly, and this is handicapping wise. December is a weird time of the year, and you talked about how you swooned a little bit and had a little swoon in NHL recently. I've talked about this in many sports. For me personally, and I don't know how you handicap, but I usually do very well in the second part of the year, and I often do well in the first few weeks of a season. But the middle part of the first half of the year is always a little bit tricky. There can be overreactions. There can be teams that make quick turnarounds, and so I feel that is kind of like where we are in the NHL season right now. Over the past 4 or 5 days, I'm sorry to hear that you had a rough time. I actually didn't lose any units the last 4 or 5 days in the NHL because I skipped the NHL for a few days, and because I got a little bit sick, but also I have in the back of my head, I'm like, this is not the type of kind of year where I want to where I feel like I'm missing a lot of opportunities. I'm actually at this point in the year feeling like I might be missing a lot of traps, and it's probably better for me to skip a day here or so. So just I keep that in mind. Would you agree with that analysis of this point in the year season? With this point in the season, Jim?
I can see that. I think the people who've capped with me in NHL know my biggest issue in NHL capping is I'm a huge fan of NHL. I love the sport, and there's teams that I love, and there's teams that I hate, and there's players that I dislike, and my fandom gets in the way of my betting.
It also means that you have an intrinsic, internal, visceral sense of the sport in general, which is phenomenally great. It's also bad when it colors your analysis of that sense. But
exactly, yeah.
All right. So what I was trying to say was that I've done pretty well in the NHL this year. Listening to Jim and the comments section, I skipped the last few days, so I'm looking at everything fresh now. We got 13 games ready to start. Jimmy the Bag?
I'm ready to get to work, my friend.
All right, Vegas and Boston. Vegas, of course, has been mostly rolling, and Boston back home after a 3-game road trip. They won the last 2. Now, my read on Boston earlier in the season, which I discussed with you, is I'm looking to bet on them against bad or mediocre teams, and definitely looking to fade them against top-tier teams, and I think that's basically how I still feel about them. And is Ullmark good? I recall Gokster saying that Ullmark kind of sucks, even though he's had great results, in the past few weeks and months. He's had, he's given up exactly 2 goals in each of his last 5 starts. Before that, he was getting gashed more. So I wasn't sure why Vegas was a dog, and there's a lot of games I skipped on the card on the overnight lines, but this one I did take. I did take Vegas as a dog. I think I got 115 or 118, and I took the Vegas team total over 2.5 at -128. Even though Ullmark has been holding teams lower than that repeatedly in his past bunch of starts. Vegas usually gets to 3, and I think that in this spot against Ullmark at the -128 line, it was a good bet. I haven't checked to see where the lines have moved. Boston seems pretty good defensively. I don't know if that's a little bit of a mirage or if that's really who they are. On the overnight line, I took a shot with Vegas as a dog and the Vegas team total over, and I might make those official plays. What do you think, Jim?
I don't dislike it.
Mm-hmm.
Don't dislike it, but I think that Boston is I think they're better than their record indicates. And their record isn't bad, 14-8-2, 7-4-1, but they're better, and they're getting healthier. They only have Brandon Carlo out of the lineup. Vegas is sort of a similar situation. They've won 4 or 5. Remember when Vegas' power play was at 9 or 10%? I was like, this power play will end up at 18%. Once they start getting those extra power play goals, they're going to be bet on. They've won 4 or 5. Lehner has not been very good this year. I expect him to get better as the season goes on. Vegas last seen in a 6-4 home win over the Wild on Sunday night. So Alec Martinez, who's helpful, is out. Nolan Patrick, Jack Eichel remain out. And Boston coming in off their second straight win. I was very impressed with that Western Canadian trip there. Edmonton, Calgary, Vancouver. They went 2-0-1. They lost to Vancouver in a shootout. They beat Edmonton and Calgary. And I know Edmonton's defense is so beat up right now that they're not nearly the team that they were. I don't disagree at all, but I don't feel like there's an edge here. White Cloud coming back for Vegas and picking up 2 goals. There's no doubt in my mind that Vegas is a bet on hockey team.
Okay.
But at this, and the market moving towards Vegas, this is 2 good teams playing against each other. And let's just say
you'd label Boston a good team?
Yes, they're a good hockey team. They're not as good as they have been. But, Marchand had that suspension. He's back. Pasternak is not scoring at the rate that we're accustomed to. Bergeron's been dealing with wearing the full shield because of the facial injury. This team is not as good as they were last year, but last year they were very good. And this year they're a good hockey team that will be tough to beat, and they'll be tough to beat in TD Garden. And I don't want to go up against Vegas, but I do feel like this is a very coin flippy type situation, and you're on the dog in that situation. And I can understand that. But
yeah, on the overnight line at Pinnacle, I got Vegas at 115. I just thought, why should they be a dog here? I took them. Now it's down to 108. I took the team total over. I got minus 128. Now it's up to 136. So we'll see where it closes. But yeah, I mean, what's your take on Ullmark? Is he, or I'm seeing Swayman as not unconfirmed, but
I've got some sites are saying Swayman, some sites are saying Ullmark. I think they're both decent goaltenders. I think that what we have to do here, and I've done the same with Nedeljkovic, is the fact that these teams did not want to build around these young goaltenders. I trust those experts. So that to me says that Ullmark is a okay goaltender, but they really think that Luukkonen or somebody else was supposed to direct the ship in Buffalo.
All right.
I don't think there's anything wrong with your spot, but it does.
Okay. And just very quickly, how is Boston defensively? Are they a team that's going to hold teams down? Because, again, Ullmark, I don't know who's going to be in goal, but, they've played a lot of teams giving up 2 goals. Are they a tough defensive team, or are they a team where if they're playing an offensive juggernaut or a powerful offensive team, you can expect them to get scored on even at home?
They're a very tough defensive team, and their defense is healthier now, but it's the accountability of their forwards. You have Bergeron and Coyle playing, 38 minutes of every game, almost 2 full periods with those 2 guys on the ice who are accountable, extremely accountable, and they pride themselves off that. And Bergeron, Selke winner multiple times. So yeah, they're going to be a tough out. And at this point, when I see their record at 14-8-2, and I see their home record at 7-4-1, I'm certain that they're better than that record indicates.
Okay, we're going to move on to another game, but aren't they a team maybe similar to Washington, where they have a bunch of aging stars, where you would expect them to maybe do well in the beginning of the year, do well at key points during the season, but in general to fade as the season goes on?
No, I don't think so. No, Marchand is still in his prime, and Pasternak should be really in his prime, and Bergeron is just a spectacular hockey player that every player who skates should look up to and try to emulate. So no, I do not. I think Boston is going to be a real problem for any team in the Eastern Conference, any team in the Atlantic Division. I'm not saying that they're going to go on some massive run this year, but they're a quality hockey team at home here. And I know Vegas is playing really good hockey right now, but this is a stay away spot for me.
All right, I will stay away as well. There you go, Jimmy the Bag. This is why my career NHL handicapping during the regular season made a 180, because listening to Jimmy the Bag out in the comments section, when I'm analyzing a game with Jimmy the Bag, in my mind, 40% of it is for that game, 60% of it is for upcoming games and upcoming weeks. And I will have everything Jimmy the Bag just said locked away for the next games these teams play. Next game, right, ready to go, LA and Tampa Bay?
Yep.
Another interesting one. LA, off 2 impressive home wins against 2 good teams, right? They're definitely a young, scrappy mid-tier team, but capable of beating the top in the NFL at any point. And Tampa Bay, of course, becoming what we expected of them. Returning from a 5-game trip, they won the first 4. They lost the last one. They got shut out. So maybe that sets up for a bounce-back spot here. I'm not sure. Tampa Bay is obviously great, but LA looks pretty scrappy, pretty good. Not sure they should be this big of a dog, even on the road at Tampa Bay. Although, if you gave me a free play on it, I'd probably say, yeah, Tampa Bay is still to play here, -1 at -130 or something. But this is, I didn't make a bet on the overnight lines here. Not sure what to think of it, but LA is legitimately scrappy and legitimately dangerous to bet against as a big dog, right, Jim? Or do you disagree with that?
No, I agree with that. I think especially with the way Johnny Quick's playing. So I absolutely agree with that. I get to watch this team in person in just a couple days over 2 weeks when they play the Canucks in LA on the 30th. And I still have to figure out this forward group. I still don't know exactly what I'm getting from them offensively. And I know that their team, the Ontario Reign, Ontario, California, has been such a good AHL team. I guess I haven't quite figured out there's a few teams here where I still haven't quite figured out how good they are. What we know is that they have a center who you can play in all situations, who's got size, can win faceoffs, and that's Anze Kopitar. And now you have Johnny Quick playing at the level that we remember him playing, 2.04 goals against average, 933 save percentage. So as home dogs, they should probably be bet blindly. Mm-hmm. On the road here, I understand why they've gone from plus 175 to plus 155. And Tampa banged up already without Kucherov, Point, and Cernak. They are getting Cirelli back tonight. They're also getting Bogosian back tonight. So they're getting healthier. The 5-game winning streak snapped in a 4-0 loss to Ottawa on that Saturday matinee. This is what is the total of this game? I wonder.
Well, that's another interesting one. It's it's low, 5.5, heavily juiced to the under, which makes sense to me. Although it was also a little bit head scratching. I was thinking maybe is that an overreaction, but it's a very low total, Jim.
It's a very low total, and you have two. I hesitate to say Jonathan Quick is incredible, but he's certainly playing that way this year. So both of these guys are statistically in the top 10 in the NHL comfortably. Turnsey says, I'm on LA money line here. For me, at this point, Alex Edler out with a lower body injury, and I don't think this defense has that much depth. But this is another game that made me pretty uncomfortable. And I could completely understand Turnsey's look here. And big shout out to Arthur Meade Jr. God, what a great guy. Great capper. Yeah. Thankful to roll with him. Thank you for your support, Arthur. This was LA Kings or no bet. And I had thought, I didn't realize Cirelli was coming back until, capping it this morning and last night. If Cirelli wasn't back, and I don't care as much about Bogosian, I would bet the Kings. But I do think that Cirelli is good. I do think that wake-up call from that 4-0 shellacking from the Senators is also probably a nice thing for those who are backing the Lightning.
Right.
This is a tough spot.
I would definitely – I'm actually leaning Tampa Bay here, but I guess for now I will pass. You want to move on?
Sure, but let me also say that I don't think there's anything wrong with that, with looking at Tampa Bay. And, again, when I saw Cirelli's back and they're coming off of that loss, they're a tough team, and they're at home, and they haven't been that good at home, 8-3-2. They've been okay. They've been good. But for a Stanley Cup champion, 8-3-2 at home is okay. Jimmy Gomez liking Tampa Bay. We have Slatsy's on Tampa Bay. Turnsy's on LA. Jared TG asking about that first period under 1.5. I think that's a very interesting look. I wonder what the juice associated with that would be with a
not
under.
That bad, minus 112. I love some of those first period unders, but I don't kind of like to take them willy-nilly. I want to have a strong reason to take them. I don't want to go overboard with it. Yeah, I might be leaving a lot of money on the table with that.
Yeah. That's actually, I think that look makes quite a bit of sense. But it wasn't on my radar, and I'm going to have to spend some time with it. I'm going to put a couple question marks beside it, but I think I'm going to write Jared TG beside it. All right, let's keep rolling.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I was had a few other comments, but they're not that important about.
No, please do. Please do.
No. They're not good comments. They're not good. It would be shitty content if I said those comments. All right, Jimmy the Bag, ready to go? Ottawa, Florida.
Yes.
Here you go. This is an interesting one. Definitely a Jimmy the Bag special as far as how do we make heads or tails of this handicapping situation. Although I suspect this one you might say I really don't know what to think right here. Although maybe I'm wrong. Ottawa, of course. Has turned things around, right? Won 4 out of their last 5, all as a massive underdog. And we do see this in sports when a team that was terrible turns it around. They keep winning over and over again as a huge underdog, and you're wondering, okay, when is this going to end? Should I keep betting into this? Or right when I bet into it, is that when they get blown out and I'm like, what an idiot, I'm the biggest sucker at the table. Florida's back after a 3-game home trip, and it wasn't a very good trip, but Florida, of course, great at home. They just won 14 in a row at home until they lost that one one game where Jimmy Bag and I both had a feeling that might happen. Ottawa, not a good road team. And then Forsberg in goal has been playing great, but I know you and Gogster and everyone is pretty strongly down on Forsberg. I think, right? Like you all think he's terrible.
No, I'm not. I'm not at all. Both of the Senator goaltenders, I just think need time in the NHL.
Okay.
I love the decisions that the brass in Ottawa has made to support these two young goaltenders. I believe in both of them.
All right. Okay. I stand corrected then. And then Florida, great at home, but they're only 4-4 in their last 8 games. And Duclair and Barkov are both out, and that has sort of coincided with their less excellent play recently. And then we've got this enormous favorite line. So we have once again Ottawa has won 4 of 5 as a massive dog. Once again, in a situation where they're a huge underdog. Do we bet into this trend, or do we ignore the game, or do we say that this is a down spot for Ottawa and take Florida as a massive favorite? What do you think?
Good. First off, Birdie says really like these two spots in the Sens game. Ottawa -0.5 in the first 10 minutes, and Senators first period money line -0.5. By the way, I don't know if any of you guys saw on Friday. I was on the Avalanche first period -0.5 at +105, which I was shocked at that line, and that should have been my only bet. But Birdie took the Avalanche -1.5 in the first 10 minutes at +700 and cashed that. And it legitimately, you can use the word brilliant around that bet, So I just want to give a shout out to Birdie there. I can understand why Birdie liking the Senators early here. I really can. And I can understand liking the Senators all the way around. Although I do expect Anthony Duclair to be in the lineup tonight, but I've been expecting him to be in the lineup for the last few days. But now that they're home, I do expect Duclair to be there. And Barkov has been put on the IR, but that's backdated. So that just means for sure he's going to miss this one game. And it's not the knee injury. This is an upper body injury that he's dealing with, which is all the Panthers backers can have some relief with that. But they're coming in off their second loss in 3 games, 3-2 at the Avalanche on Sunday. I've said over and over again to fade them on the road, fade them as much as possible. But this team at 14-1 at home, and the Sens are healthy now for the first time, and we're seeing a good young hockey team. They are much better than their record indicates, 18-6-1, 3-7-1. And if you flat bet the Ottawa Senators from here to the rest of the season, I would be certain that your ROI would be plus. I would be certain that your ROI would be plus. This team is just going to get better and better and better and better, and continue on next year and the year after that. This is a young team with great coaching, and I love the player personnel decisions. So I believe in this squad. In saying that, you guys know that I don't think the Panthers are as good as their record indicates. And so, especially with Barkov out of the lineup. But don't forget about Mason Marchment. Like, he's tough, and there's not a lot of toughness on this Panthers team. And Maxime Mamin is also out. Jeffrey Blue agreeing with Ottawa first period. And there's razor sharp picks in the house. I like. Okay, there's 2 things here. I don't think that you want to get in a firefight with the Panthers ever. And this 6.5 is screaming at me to try to go under it.
On the overnight line, I was actually looking at the Panthers team total under 4.5 -161, but now it's down to 3.5 at plus money, which is still a little bit tempting. But I was thinking of giving the 4.5 under at 161.
Oh, sorry. Say that one again. Sorry, I missed that number.
Florida Panthers team total under 4.5 -161 on the overnight line. I was thinking about that. I didn't pull the trigger with a bet, and I was thinking about giving it, but now it's not on Pinnacle right now, but still.
Oh, yeah, I get that. I'd love that. Like anytime you can get under 4.5, I would like to bet the under 6.5 right now without Barkov in the lineup. I really would. I really would like to bet that. Maybe I do bet that. This is a Senators or no bet. I love that Birdie's focusing on the first period here. I think that makes a ton of sense. In the first 10 minutes makes a ton of sense. You guys are opening my eyes up to this situation here. I've only made 3 bets on the card so far, and I love the 3 bets that I've made. Love them. But because of that, and because I had a bad week, and I absolutely am in love with these 3 -1 bets at plus money, I'm hesitant to add too much to the card, and I certainly don't. If I was to make 2 bets here, let's say Ottawa first period and the under 6.5, well, that would be 40% of my action thus far on this game, and that makes me extremely uncomfortable. But yeah, I like Ottawa early. I agree with Birdie, and I like the under 6.5.
All right, I'll pass for now. I was thinking about the under as well, but I guess I'll pass for now and think about it. I might add some stuff at the end of this show officially. All right, you ready to move on, Jim?
I think so. Just a sec. So I would be taking the under 6.5, and then I would be on the first period line at plus 180. God, that's appealing. Yeah, I would. Yeah, I gotta add that to my card. I guess if I am concerned, and this is probably that something that happens to a lot of us cappers, is it is holiday season, and I'm not a single dude in a bachelor. I've got a family to take care of, and so I think that probably tightens my reins a little bit, and it probably makes me a weaker capper around this time. And that's not something that I dealt with 5 years ago or 4 years ago. It's something that I'm dealing with now, and I feel it. I legitimately feel it. But I did have a big poker night on Sunday, nice big juicy fucking $800 poker night, and cashed my biggest bet of the year in CFL. So everything should be okay. But I just wanted to say that out loud, and not pretend it wasn't happening.
Yeah. I mean, if you need a little extra money, I'll send you my super special top secret college basketball plays. I mean, those you won't lose. I'll tell you that. You might not make anything. You won't lose. All right, no, you might lose. I'm just kidding around. All right, Jimmy the Bag. Yeah, I wish 4.5 on the Florida team total under was still available like it was on the overnight, and I would give that as an official pick. But 3.5, that's a little. It's still plus money though. That's very tempting. The Florida. How's Ottawa defensively? They shut out that Tampa Bay. That's no joke of a result there, right?
It was a strange spot in the afternoon. It was a perfect Ottawa spot. I was just so caught up in my own bullshit that I didn't. When I saw that game, I was like, oh, I know. The first thing I thought was, oh, Birdie's going to be on these Senators today. Like, but yeah, I think that's the one concern, of course, is Senators' defense. I mean, you look at Shabbat the Bed as their number one defenseman, and he's not a defensive juggernaut. You don't have Josh Brown in the lineup. I mean, that's who they need, but every team needs a Colton Parayko. But this team legitimately is like a Colton Parayko away from being a Darnell Nurse away from being like a really good hockey team. All right, let's keep rolling.
All right, okay, let's move on. The next one is New Jersey and Philly, and this is a game that I did bet on the overnight line. I didn't even check to see where the line has moved. New Jersey, of course, lost. They're still losing, but they have Jack Hughes back, and Philly turned a little bit of a corner, at least in the short term, right? They won their last two, both on the road, but more important than that, they're playing really well. They're playing more crisp, focused. They're controlling the puck. All of that. And I jumped all over the over on the overnight line. I think that Philly's going to have, and the Philly team total over. I think Philly's going to have another strong offensive game, and probably give up a few to New Jersey as well. I don't think we're going to need Philly to win 6-0 to get the over. Philly will get a bunch of goals, and the Devils will throw in 1 or 2, maybe even 3. It was a relatively low total. I got 119 on the over 5.5, and I jumped on that one. And I would also be leaning the first period over, and I also took a shot with the Philly team total over as well. Not that I necessarily think that I'm a little bit hesitant about fading New Jersey right now, but so I prefer the Philly team total over to taking Philly on their money line. But I took the Philly team total over 2.5. I got minus 150. I took the full game over 5.5. I got minus 120. And let's see where it is now. I definitely like both of those plays. What's your take on those plays, Jimmy the Bag?
Well, first off, this line is just astonishing to me. This line makes no sense to me. The Devils are dealing with COVID. Their second straight loss in 6 and 7 games. So they just lost Yaros. They put Christian Yaros, their defenseman, on it yesterday. They have no Nico Hischier and Ryan Graves. And who else is going to be added to that list before game time? You have to question who else is not. So you take away Hischier, the guy who's your captain is supposed to be your center, to take your number one line center. You take him off the ice, and you have this Flyers team that's won 2 straight, with you as the coach. For me, this is a slam dunk Flyers spot.
Right.
And I'm on the Flyers -1 with enormous confidence in this game. My concern is Mackenzie Blackwood is showing us signs over the last 2 weeks that he could be, a top 5 goaltender in the NHL. But
really?
Top 5? He had a couple games where he's just being like like lights out. Now he's not being able to be consistent enough, but you can there's hints that could be coming at some point. I want to back the Devils. But I need them to be healthy, and I need them to be a nice dog here. And they have a 12.7% power play. That's not going to get better with Hischier out. And look, I know Derek Brassard, Joel Farabee, and Ryan Ellis are all making progress, but none of them are going to be in the lineup right now. So, and then Bertie says all of those inactives, and the line stays at 6. He says, how does this game go over? Is this 6 a gift to the under? In all honesty, with
no
those
one's
guys out.
over. So Bertie likes the under then.
Yes, and I get that with Hischier out of the lineup. You don't, these guys, they don't want to play Hughes at center. He doesn't win enough faceoffs, and they want him to be an offensive-minded player, and that helps with Hischier out there, although they want that to be a first-unit spot, and that's because they're getting so much life out of Jesper Bratt and Johansson and all these players that they're giving them a ton of quality minutes out of. For me, this is the Flyers are going to take care of business here. It's just set up to me perfect for the Flyers, in my estimation.
Well, okay. Well, that's good. I took the Flyers team total over at 2.5 minus 150. Now it's up to 3.5. And again, I took the over. I got 5.5 minus 120, and it's moved, 15 cents since then. It just took another jump. Now it's moved like almost 20 cents to the over. So obviously the market agrees with my analysis from last night, but now I'm disagreeing with my analysis from last night. Why do you think that the total is going up?
Well, the Philadelphia Flyers are not a strong defensive team,
right?
So I can understand it going up. I can understand. The issue with COVID and what it's done is it just changes dramatically these rosters and what we've been seeing. And you take these key players out. It's more than what injuries have done in the past. And to break down this Devils, like the Flyers are they're it's easy to say they're better than their record indicates, because they lost 10 straight games and fired the coach or whatever. But there's some renewed hope.
Really great. Yeah.
Sorry?
I said last 2 games has been a different team.
Yeah, I don't have any problem with and you getting that 5.5. And this also was 2 teams that when they played recently, I was on the over confidently, and it didn't go over. This to me though. At this spot, now a lot of times you don't want a team that does a nice road trip and comes back home, but that was not a nice road trip. That was 2 winning games. That the win over the Coyotes, one of the easiest bets of the year, and now they come home after 2 wins and they have some renewed hope. And I think they're going to comfortably beat these New Jersey Devils tonight. I think it's a real slam spot. And now Bertie says, now that you've talked this out, I'm adding Flyers minus 1.5. Ulysses Hayes is on the Flyers money line minus 125. And when Ryan Ellis gets back, we can beat the market on this Flyers team. I don't think they're a great hockey team, but they're better than the market's going to give them credit for.
All right, I will jump on that one with you as well. I'll take Philly -1 at plus 132. That's the current line. And as far as the total is concerned, I mean, it's gone up. I might try to hedge out. I might take the under 6 at minus 111 and take a small loss there unless it lands on 6. And then I got a little side middle there. So yeah, you've talked me. And Mackenzie, so if you think Mackenzie Blackwood is about to be top 5 goalie, then you definitely wouldn't like the Flyers team total over. Certainly not 3.5, even at plus money, right?
No, I wouldn't. I think they're just going to beat the other hockey team tonight. Right. And I think that's my main focus. How am I going to make money on this game? What's the single best edge in this game?
Yes.
And I'm just keeping it clean and simple.
Yes, Jimmy the bag. All right, I'm taking that official. Philly -1 plus 132. Good?
Yeah, -1 plus 132 locked in.
Yes. All right, let's move on. Ready, Jim?
Yeah, let's roll.
Okay, next game on the docket is Montreal and Pitt. Montreal continues to suck. Nothing more to say. And, I'd like to hear anyone who has a better analysis of Montreal than that, right? I just nailed it. Continues to suck. That's it. Pure unadulterated quality NHL handicapping right there. And Pittsburgh, nice. They won 4 in a row. Before that, they had lost 3 in a row. But they lost these wingers, right? These top line wingers, Rust and Guentzel. And, after Rust went down, they beat the Isles 1-0 at the time. That was when the Isles were still shitty. And then they lost 3 in a row. So maybe that's a big loss. They recovered a little bit since then, I guess. But then Guentzel goes down 2 days ago. Maybe his loss isn't fully felt yet. And maybe this is just maybe Pittsburgh is a little bit depleted here. You got Montreal, who maybe isn't as horrible as they've showed themselves this year. And you got a massive favorite line. So I'm not sure what to think here. What do you think, Jim?
I think it was a great intro, absolutely great intro to this game. Rust and Guentzel are very good hockey players. I find Rust is the prototype of player that I would need to find if I was a general manager. Everything that Rust does, I just fucking love. His size, his grit, what he goes to the dirty areas, he scores goals. And then you have Guentzel, who has shown, even without Crosby, when Crosby's hurt, that he's a sniper. He's an excellent offensive player. We've learned that this Penguins team is continually capable of rising to the occasion when they have these injuries, and it's an incredible ability that they have. And they're just 6-5-2 at home. They're the losing team at home here, so they have a lot of reasons to fight. They're 14-8-5, which is really 14-13. So they're not having that good of a season. Their penalty killing is, I believe, the best in the NHL at 92.4%. And Yari has been very good this year, and I think he's a really good goalie, and I think he's just going to improve. He's 12-5-4, 1.92 goals against average, 934 save percentage. But at this number, I mean, what can you do with this game? I don't see what to do with this game. I mean, -2. There's been a 12-cent move at Pinnacle from -282 to -294. It's -300 at Bet365. There's no way, not a chance I would ever do anything with this team as this big of a favorite. It's Montreal Canadiens or pass, and we have a 13-game card that's a thing of beauty for us to cap and all these possible spots for us to attack. And this is when we do our best. We always have done our best when we have a huge slate of games where we can really be choosy. And so I don't see an angle here that I can make money off of personally.
Right. Excellent. So it's kind of like it's like The Bachelorette. It's just like she's one woman and she's got like 30 guys she can choose from. That works so much better than when you just have to take whatever's handed to you. Jimmy the Bag, for future considerations, can you give us just a 10-second analysis of what's the deal with Montreal, how much they suck, and where, if any, should we be looking to fade them or bet on them in the next couple weeks, in your opinion? Just an educated guess here.
Yeah, it's easy. It's a really easy breakdown, and you just go to their injury report. I mean, it's just so easy. So we just, Toffoli and Josh Anderson, Brendan Gallagher, Christian Dvorak. Is that 4 of their top 6 forwards?
Yeah.
I mean, Joel Edmondson. I mean, we just wait for these guys to return. And then as soon as they return, you can't really back them. And we're hearing that Brendan Gallagher from Slatsy's out of COVID. And, out of COVID. I mean, so we just... I don't know. We'll keep an eye on him. We also have Slatsy in our chat, lives in Montreal, so he's always got his ear to the streets of what's going on with that team, and he caps them very, very well. But it's just they're hurt. They're hurting badly. And, but Abel Alvarez's birthday here, free breakfast from Denny's. I always do that too, and my girl thinks that's a cheap thing to do. I don't think it's cheap at all.
It's not cheap at all. It's smart.
Yeah. Respect Abel Alvarez. Happy birthday. And Gally not playing tonight. I just don't see I don't know. I don't know what to do with this game. This game is a garbage fire to me.
Okay, you want to move on, Jim?
Yes.
Isles and Detroit. The Islanders won 2 of their last 3. Okay, not bad. Detroit lost 3 in a row, but before that they had won 5 in a row. We've talked about Detroit, a mid-tier team, but definitely scrappy, definitely good in spots. And Tyler Bertuzzi is who missed the last 5 games, right? Is expected to play, which I'm assuming that is correct. The Isles definitely getting their mojo back, but I was thinking that maybe Detroit as a home dog might have some value. And I was thinking maybe over this low total because the Isles, when they were having all their COVID issues, they were playing a different style, going very, very low scoring. They're kind of a one period under machine, and I did well with that. And I believe Mr. Gokster and many others did well with that as well. Now they're playing much higher scoring games. Again, similar to the Flyers game, I'm not necessarily sure I want to take Detroit to win, but I think the Detroit team total over might be worth a shot. And I did take the Detroit team total over 2.5 at -119 on the overnight line. That was an official bet that I made. I haven't seen where the line has moved yet. But I'm thinking it's a nice spot for Detroit. I'm thinking maybe they shouldn't be a home dog, and maybe the best bet is Detroit team total over, if not to win as a home dog. What do you think, Jimmy the Bag?
I think your breakdown makes a ton of sense. I don't want to fade the Islanders under any circumstances. And before I heard that Tyler Bertuzzi was coming back, I was planning on betting the New York Islanders. But we talk about rust. I mean, Tyler Bertuzzi is everything that you want in a hockey player. I mean,
right.
Now he's the only unvaccinated player in the NHL, so that creates difficulties because he can't go up to Canada. And, you just imagine if the Red Wings made the playoffs and had a series against Canada. I mean, it'd just be devastating to Red Wings fans. So there's some difficulty there. But on the ice, he's everything that you want. And he said, I believe he was asymptomatic. Like, I believe he had no issues whatsoever with the illness. So I think that he's just going to be, and someone can confirm that. But I believe he at least a couple of times I read, he was like, I'm fine. I'm completely fine. So I expect him to be revved up and ready to rock. Mark Stahl's still in COVID protocol. I don't know why he's still there. And Gustav Lindstrom's very close to returning. Those are two defensemen they need. But I do not want to fade the Islanders under any circumstances.
Right.
They're getting healthier. They're just like the Senators, getting healthier and healthier. They only have Ryan Pulock out of the lineup. They're coming off their second win in 3 games, 4-2 at home over the Devils on Saturday night. Their penalty killing's at 83.6%. It will always be good. Their power play is 16.1%. It's not terrible. Sorokin is a very, very good goaltender. And so initially I was like, okay, I'm going to want to bet the Islanders here. And then I saw that Bertuzzi was back, and I said, okay, no, you don't want to fade the Red Wings in this spot. And that took me to a stay off spot. Listen to this from Vitalis, though. He says the Islanders fit a rested favorite on the road system today, where Faves visiting off 3 to 4 days rest. The system's 4 or 5 since December, with the only loss, the Vegas Knights, on the 1st of December. Yeah, I think this game is tricky.
That's a very nice system. Only problem with that, they might not close as a favorite, Jimmy the Bag. There's been a big move in favor of Detroit. They're still technically a teeny underdog, but we'll see where this line closes. The Islanders might not close as the favorite. They're the favorite now.
Slatsy says, isn't it now the time for the Isles to make a move with all their guys back? I'm on the Isles, just a gut play. That was my initial gut play too, Slatsy. My initial gut was, okay, I'm going to bet the Islanders here. Just from my own, just watching games and not studying it. And then I studied a little more, and I thought, I don't think this is the road. If I had a free play, I still think the Islanders are going to roll. Not necessarily here, but generally speaking. But I don't. If I'm going to take a road favorite, I have to be extremely confident. So I'm off the spot.
Well, and just any thoughts on the total? I was thinking that maybe a shot with the over might be a sneaky good thing to do, and it doesn't look like the total has moved much since what I looked at on the overnight line. It's a low total, which would make a lot of sense if you're looking at these two teams a couple weeks ago. But right now, the Islanders are playing a much more offensive and stronger offensive game right now, and Detroit can put up a couple goals here and there. Why is the total so low, and do you think it's justifiable?
I love the over 5.5 at plus money, so I could see the appeal. But I do not think the Islanders are going to be playing high-scoring games. If they're going to be successful,
right?
If they're going to go on a big run like they seem to do every year, I do not think it'll be high-scoring games. So, but the Red Wings have played in their fair share of high-scoring games. So,
all right. Well, I my bet again. The only bet I made was Detroit team total over on the overnight line at -119. Now it's up to 126 at Pinnacle. I'll make that an official play. If it loses, okay, that's not great, but you can probably go. I see 125 at Heritage. You want to do a quick 5-second line shop for me, Jimmy the Bag? See if you can find something better than 126.
Sure. Let me just pull up Circa here. What was the bet exactly?
Detroit team total over 126. Yeah, now it's up to 130 at Heritage. All right, so it's headed up a little bit. I guess I can just take 126. Detroit team total over 2.5 -126. I'll make that an official play. You got anything?
If I was to expect a final score of this game, I think it's going to be 3-2 Islanders, and the Red Wings are going to have to pull their goalie, and then who knows what happens next. And Jared TG says 3-2 written all over it. So, but if you like the Wings to begin with, then I think the winner gets the 3 goals. I mean, that's easy to say.
Right. All right, I'll just take it. I'll take it.
Okay.
I'll take it. I'll make it an official play, because if it does cash and I don't make it official, I'll be mad at myself for not having balls. And having a little bit of balls since October 19th is how I got here, Jimmy the Bag. So
absolutely.
I'll take
quickly here, just to add some flame here. Turnsey. So we have Slatsy in Montreal. We have Birdie in Kingston. We have Turnsey and Windsor. It's important where these guys all are, because we can utilize their skill sets. And for Turnsey, he's a huge Red Wings fan. He's on the Islanders here, and he's on the over.
Yeah. And actually, I believe it was Turnsey who put me on the right side. It was the Nashville game, I think. It was Turnsey who took me off the Red Wings and put me on the Nashville team total over. And I cashed with that one.
Yeah,
I'm not looking at the comments right now, just because we got so many games to cover, and I didn't set it up, and there's audio issues when I pull it up. But wow, yeah. So maybe the Islanders team total over is the play. 2.5 minus 125.
I did just push Dutchie back 10 minutes, so we still have 15 minutes at this point.
Wow, so maybe the Islanders team total is the play then, over.
Well, I don't believe in Nedeljkovic.
Yeah, and the Islanders have everyone in, right?
Everybody but Pulock.
Yeah. All right. Maybe I'll put both teams' team total over. I already made that official, so I can't take it. Well, I guess I could take it back, but all right. I'll just go with it right now. I got Detroit. I might throw on the Islanders as well later. We'll see. I should have just taken the over. All right. A little bit of a screwy game. That happens. We all know what that is all about when we're handicapping crazily. Sometimes screwy things happen like that. You ready to move on, Jim?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. Carolina, Minnesota. First of all, is Aho back for Carolina? I know that was a big loss when he was out.
He's still in Vancouver.
Oh, he is. Okay, so
he's
out.
not leaving Vancouver. He's in COVID protocols.
Okay, so that's not good. On the other hand, I believe we're getting Tony DeAngelo and Brett Pesce back, right, for Carolina. So that's pretty good. How good is that? That's what we got you for, Jimmy the Bag, among many, many, many other things. So I was thinking maybe Carolina as a dog would be the play, but then again, fading the Wild at any point right now is a little bit tough. I was thinking maybe Carolina +1 minus 135. Seems like Carolina's a good team, going to be a tight game. What do you think, Jim?
I think the Wild is the best bet possibly on the board here today.
Really?
Sorry, Ulysses has COVID, our guy, so please keep us updated. Ulysses, please keep us updated, my man. Get over this and keep us updated. Look, this is the spot for Minnesota. They're coming off that second straight loss, 6-4 at Vegas. They're only missing Brodin. I love the Wild at home. Love them at home. They're 10-2 at home. They're coming off 2 straight losses. Everson's going to have them ready to go. You have a Hurricanes team that had their 4-game winning streak snapped, and then they don't get Sebastian Aho to come with them, their best player and the top 10 player in the NHL. It reminds me a lot of Alexander Barkov. Jordan Martinook dealing with a lower body injury. Seth Jarvis also on that COVID list. So, they need DeAngelo and Pesce to come back. Is that confirmed that they're going to come back? And if they do come back, at what level are they going to be playing at in their first game? So this to me is a slam dunk Wild spot. I got them on the -1 line with enormous That's why I didn't want to add anything to that Ottawa Florida game. These 3 bets I'm on, I have so much confidence in. I got +119 on the -1 line when I bet it. I got a money line at -135 and a puck line at +180. And Sebastian Aho is absolutely incredible because just like Barkov, this new wave of elite European centerman is also extremely accountable defensively, wins faceoffs, has size. It's so different than what happened 20 years ago. These centermen like Barkov and Aho are spectacular hockey players, and they're big losses to their teams when they're not in the lineup.
Wow. That's a hell of a breakdown, Jimmy the Bag. And, the line has moved, 15 cents or so since the overnight line. I think I might just blindly tail you on this one. My question for you is, Carolina, they played pretty well on their road trip. They lost with Ranta in goal, but, they beat Winnipeg, Calgary, Edmonton. And you think that, wow, okay.
I think Sebastian Aho is a top 10 player in the NHL. And when you take off a centerman who's going to be playing 23, 24 minutes a game on every important face-off circle. Now, they have Trocheck and Stahl for face-off. So they still have a nice defensive team. But where does the offense come from? Where does the offense come from when there's no Sebastian Aho? And look at this. Total is at 5.5 at -130. And let me just move over to this total here. So it's at my book right now. I could get that under 5.5 at +110. And Pinnacle's moved it to 6. So as soon as Pinnacle moves this to 6, I think I will take a Hurricanes team total under.
Wow. It's, I'm seeing 2.5 -106, which is, Carolina can put up 3. They can, but listen, sure. Wow. What a breakdown, Jimmy the Bag.
Well, we'll see. We'll see if it is. But right now, the 2.5 of my book is just -120. But I think that will change when it goes to 6. And I think Freddie Anderson is playing. Well, I mean, it's easy to say. He's playing excellent. 1.93 goals against average, .930 save percentage. So maybe the move is to wait till it gets to 6 and to take the under. Nate Dogg's on the Minnesota money line, the over 5.5 in the draw. And again, Slatsy was saying that road trip looks so good with Aho. So I want. Maybe I'll decide between the Hurricanes team total under and the under 6. I'll decide between those two, but I'm going to add one of those to my action. Look, Trocheck and Stahl can do the job defensively and win faceoffs and play tough hockey, but who centers the power play? Stahl. I guess Stahl could win the faceoff, go to the front of the net. I like Stahl and Trocheck. I like both very, very much, but this is.
Right.
This is like this spot, the Flyer spot, and my last spot on the board. I wish I was in Vegas, and I wish I opened up the wallet a little bit with these 3 games and only these 3 games, and went for a big score because I'd be really confident.
All right. Well, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to take Minnesota on the money line, though. I'm seeing -145 at Pinnacle. I'll take that one. Minnesota money line, -145. Again, this is a blind tale of Jimmy the Bag. A blind tale, listening, because I'm listening. That's what I'm doing. I'm listening. I'm not looking at anything. I'm listening. I'm taking it. Minnesota money line, -145. You got that, Jim?
I do. Minnesota money line, -145. Birdie says, I've not seen one person even think about the Canes. That scares me a little. Why would anybody think about the Canes when the Wild are 10-2-0 at home? They've lost 2 straight. We know how Dean Evison coaches this team. And the Hurricanes are 19-7-1, 12-4-1 on the road, so we get a really nice number.
Okay, let's move on. All right, Jim?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, Buffalo, Winnipeg. Buffalo has now become the Buffalo we expected. In the beginning of the year, they were kind of scrappy, upsetting some teams, screwing some people who thought they were a great fade as a huge favorite. Now they've lost 11 of 12, although, this new goalie, Luukkonen, has played well for 3 games. And then Winnipeg, off a loss. Before that, they had won 3 or 4. So Winnipeg, this is going to be a Jimmy the Bag special. For a while, they were losing and not scoring at all. I got a little bit burned with that run there. Then they won a bunch of games, had a few offensive games where they exploded offensively, and now I'm just wondering who they are offensively, who they had been those last few games, or who they've been when they weren't scoring, or who they were these last few games, and how huge of a loss is Blake Wheeler for Winnipeg. Pionk might be back. I'm not sure about that. I can't tell whether he's going to be back or not, but I know that Jimmy the Bag thinks that's huge, and apparently they're only going to go with 7 defensemen. They're going with 11 forwards and 7 defensemen. How much does that matter? I don't know, but Jimmy the Bag knows, and that's why we're going to ask him. What do you think? Winnipeg is a massive favorite. The under. What do you think in this game?
I didn't know what to do with this game. First off, I think we're going to cash our Sabers under for the season total bets that we made. Sure. I do think we're going to cash those. But they're playing hard, and Luukkonen looks great. And does that mean that we're going to be we're capable of cashing unders nonstop with this team? I believe so. I think that the better that Luukkonen plays, but Winnipeg still has that 69.2% penalty killing unit. They're a rested group coming off their second loss in 3 games, 4-3 at Vancouver on Friday night. You're right. Is Blake what loss is Blake Wheeler? I know it's a huge loss in the room. On the ice, I don't know. He's not being great, but it's a huge loss in the room, and they love him, and he's their leader. But at this point with this money, I mean, this is moving to 6, and that surprises me.
So
I mean,
when you see the Jets will go with a lineup of 11 forwards and 7 defensemen, do you think anything about that? And if so, what?
I think that they don't have depth on defense, and that losing Pionk was a huge eye opener. That they only had Morrissey and that the fact that Pionk has become their number 1 defenseman. I mean, they knew that when they were letting their defensemen go. You know, when they weren't re-signed. Now, the Tyler Myers signing by the Canucks was just terrible signing. I mean, the Jets didn't want him as a third-line defenseman, but the Canucks are going to give him a huge amount of money to be a top 4 defenseman. It's just stupid management. But they knew that Pionk was a stud. And when they have 7 defensemen, they're going to dress 7 defensemen. It means that they're very uncomfortable with their depth at defense. And that's more important to them, and that they know they can play their top 9 forwards a lot and not concern them. So
you think that means that they're going to play a conservative game so they don't get burned out defensively, and maybe we like the under?
I think the under is about Luokkanen. I think he's just seeing the puck very well. He was shutting down that very tough Capitals squad. By the way, it looks like Backstrom's going to return tomorrow night for the Caps, and they have Oshie back. It'll be interesting to see if they go on the run. But I think he's filled with confidence right now. And a lot of these goalies, they want 45 shots. You know, they're not sitting there saying, "Oh no, my defense front." He wants to show out, and so I do think that the under would be in play. Do you want to bet unders at home in Winnipeg? Probably not.
Probably
generally,
not, right?
but I do think it's going to be, and I think that Luc Dubois will play differently. I think that the top 6 forwards will play differently, knowing that there's no Wheeler, and be a little bit more accountable. So Robert Cherry says Jets full game at -1.5. They're smashing at home. Kyle Connor to score a goal too. Birdie says Sabres bubble is burst. Jets are in a must win, as crazy as that sounds. Not betting it, because even though the Jets are screaming bet on a bunch of different ways, they need to show some consistency first. Nate Dogg's Winnipeg money line, the over 5.5. So I'm interested in the under. I am.
What about the Buffalo team total under 2.5 -140?
You can't, with how terrible Winnipeg's penalty killing is, and the fact that they have to dress 7 defensemen. I don't like it. The way you cash this under 6 is if the Jets put up 45 shots on the Sabres and have the puck all night, but Luokkanen stands on his head. And Slatsy said Pionk is in the lineup according to Paul Maurice. But Slatsy, he must have some concerns because he wouldn't be dressing 7. But I hear you.
All right, I'll pass on it. If we had more time, I would maybe think about it a little bit more and make a play. But let's move on. All right, Jimmy the Bag?
Sure. I'm going to put the under is intriguing. But, yeah, let's roll.
All right, next one, Jimmy the Bag. I have not checked your whatever picks you have already given out or made. You said you have one more pick that you really love on the card, and I don't need to check because I know this is it. This is the third pick. Dallas against St. Louis. St. Louis playing pretty well, but they lost their last game. They're pretty depleted in terms of their roster. It's the front half of a home and home, and Dallas has now lost 3 in a row, all on the road. Now they come back home. I hit this one on the overnight line. I took Dallas. What did I get? I took Dallas -1 plus 101. I also took Dallas to score in the first period at -168, and I took a small shot with the Dallas full game team total over 3.5 plus 133 big. I don't know if Jimmy loves Dallas here, but I don't need to know. I didn't need to ask him. I know he loves it. You love Dallas. Tell us why. Jimmy the Bag.
I don't. I cannot back the Stars with this flu bug going through the. I just can't back. Their most important player, Rupi Hintz, has the flu. I expect him. I hope he's back in the lineup. Radulov has the flu. With those 2 guys out of the lineup, they go out west and they start losing hockey games. They're very, very good hockey players that this team needs desperately. Let's say, they're at home. So let's say, maybe Rupi Hintz is feeling. Who's the next guy to have the flu? I can't cap a hockey game when I don't know who's going to be in the lineup for the Dallas Stars squad. And so this is going to be a situation where I'll have to wait and be patient and wait. But it makes me so uncomfortable when the flu is rolling through a locker room or a dressing room, whatever one you want to call it. But look, the Blues are banged up. So these two teams, one team's dealing with a ton of injuries. One team has the flu bug going through there. So when you go over to the Blues right now, you have Shen with the upper body, Kyrou, Robert Thomas, lower body. You have these guys that are extremely important. Perron's already out. You have all these injuries too within the last 3 weeks. Like you go over their injury report and it's not injuries from October. I mean, these are all recent injuries. So that you have a Blues team that's completely banged up. You have a Stars team that has the flu bug going through their system. So I'm going to keep my ear to the streets and listen to the Dallas beat writers and hear what they have to say about the flu at about 4 or 5 o'clock today. And if they're saying, oh, we're through it, Hintz and Radulov are back in the lineup and no one else is out, then I'd be very comfortable betting the Dallas Stars. But if not, I'm not going to put my money on the line when there's things going on that I don't know about.
Yeah, no, I hear you. Okay, I'm a little surprised. No, I'm not surprised at all. You know this stuff more than I do. I will say that in general, flu rumors, in my career, in my experience, which goes back 15 years or whatever, it tends to be a factor that, in my experience, is overvalued and overestimated. You hear rumors all the time about like a flu running through the a locker room, and that sometimes, of course, that is the case. But I feel like in my experience, a lot of times I read those rumors and it winds up just not mattering at all. So I mean, Hintz could even be back for this game, right, Jim?
Yes, he could, and so could Radulov. They could both be back for this game. And by the way, they're not saying that the flu's running through the dressing room. I just see that their best two players. I mean, I love Robertson, but Hintz and Radulov. I think Robertson will end up maybe being one of them. But to me, and Radulov's having a bad year. But these are their best two players, and they're not in the lineup. And so if I need to know that they're in the lineup, I just can't make a bet when I don't have that information.
I hear you. I can make bets without information. You can throw on Dallas -1 at +110. It has moved in the opposite direction. So as of right now, the market has moved against me. We'll see where it closes, but I'll take a shot with Dallas -1 at +110. That's the current line at Pinnacle. That's an official play. And the Dallas team total also has dropped as well to 2.5. I might double up on this one. I don't know, but you can definitely add on Dallas -1 at +110, Jimmy the Bag.
It's locked in for you, my friend.
And just very, very quickly, 2-second analysis. Charlie Lindgren, what's your take on him, the goalie for St. Louis? Well, not confirmed, but probably, right?
I fell in love with everything that he said coming up. He's been on this AHL team. He's got a bunch of his teammates that have come up because of all the injuries. He says, I look around, I see all my boys. He's just saying everything right, and he's felt all this pressure in his career in Montreal. Now he has no pressure. Now everybody's given up on him. I don't know, like for me, I had my best year ever in grade 11 when everybody had given up on me. I was not going to make it in hockey. I was just and then all of a sudden you start flying, you start scoring. And I mean, he's a goaltender, so it's different, but I think he's a very dangerous goaltender right now with nothing to lose.
Hell yeah. Jimmy the Bag. All right. I will not double up on this one. I will just take Dallas -1 +110. If it loses, okay. And Jimmy the Bag, if he gets more information this afternoon, he might be on this game as well. Just as of right now, it's a pass for him, right, Jim?
Very much so, yeah.
All right, let's move on. Rangers, Colorado. You ready, Jim?
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah, interesting. Colorado, a little bit of a shaky start to the season, and then, of course, they started rolling as we expected they would. They've won 12 out of the last 15. Rangers, of course, are playing great. They lost 2 out of 3 after a great run of winning, and these two teams played recently. Colorado blew them the F out, and it was also a little bit chippy. There was some fighting going on here. I'm not actually sure what I think here, but I was thinking maybe over. That just seems like the no-brainer analysis, although, a little bit tough to take an over when the two teams played, a few games ago, and it was very high scoring, but it seems a little obvious, maybe. I don't know. On the other hand, we have Landeskog out for Colorado, right? And Kadri, who was out for Colorado in his last game, I'm seeing that he could be back for this game, but those are two big losses, maybe, unless you tell us that Colorado's so deep, doesn't really matter. Jimmy the Bag, what do you think?
I'm starting to think that the bet has to be the New York Rangers here. I'm starting to think, and then I want to just talk it out and then decide if I should pull the trigger or not. Let me just take one last look, because Shesty is such a big piece to this puzzle here. And let me get this up. So Shesty is going to be in net, and Rangers coming off their second loss in 3 games, 1-0 at home versus the Predators on Sunday. I was so focused on football, and I don't want to. I'll pull it up here in a second. But was Shesty back for that game? Was that his first game back, or is this going to be his first game back? That's such crucial information. But you know what? The Avalanche have proven to me that they are the best team in the NHL. That's what they've proven, to handle all these injuries the way they have. It's absolutely unbelievable, and I'm so impressed. And the fact that you could take their captain and their second-line centerman off the ice and there still be a huge favorite is unbelievable. And they're also missing Bowen Byram, who I'm concerned. Yeah, so this would be Shesty's first game back. That's my only concern, is this will be Shesty's first game back. So is Shesty going to be ready to – I think they bounce back here and fight. Avalanche embarrassed them at home. I think this is a Ranger spot, but I just wish Shesty had a game under his belt. And so I need to know what's going on in goal here. I need to know what's going on in goal. And maybe, I guess you don't want Shesty, in all honesty. I guess if you're thinking about this, it was Georgiev who had that spectacular game against Nashville. So how about this? So if it's Georgiev again, I will bet the Rangers. If it's Shesty's first game back, then I will probably just stay off. But if it's in Fanatical Jim saying Shesty may not play today, they're back-to-back, so this could be Georgiev. So that's how I'm going to do it. If this is Georgiev, the market will go even further towards the Avalanche, I'm guessing, and I will bet the Rangers. If not, I'll have to let it go, because I don't know what Shesty's going to do after 2 weeks off, even though he's a great goaltender. But this is a Rangers or no bet.
What about the Rangers team total over 2.5 at just -117, Jim? So they could get blown out again, 7-3, and you still cash.
You can't get in a firefight with these guys. You can't. You can't play the Avalanche like that. You can't play Nate McKinnon like that, even if you have Panarin and Zibanejad. So I want a nice, big, juicy plus line if I'm going to make this bet. So I do not want to get cute here. I want a huge plus line winner. If I want a risk reward situation to bet against Colorado at home, and that's what I'm going to do. Fanatical Jim, I hope so. I've made it clear. If it's Georgiev, I bet it.
So you think the Rangers are in a spot where they want to really play tough, but you think it's going to be a defense oriented game plan to hold it low?
I think they're licking their chops to fuck with these guys that embarrass them at home. I think they want to get out on that ice and play these guys so badly.
Really?
Yeah, that's what I think. I think the Rangers are angry, and they had their 4-stringer in net, and they were embarrassed in front of their own fans, and they want to give it right back to them.
Wow. All right. I think I'm going to take the Rangers team total over just based on your analysis here, Jim.
I like that bet. I don't think Kemper's that good. I don't want to have double ups on these games, but what is that line? Because it's interesting.
2.5 -117. So the Rangers just having trouble scoring the past 2 games is just not a big deal.
It's not. It's an issue. It isn't an issue, but they have a very good offense, and they should be able to be good to go.
Right.
Oh no, Barzal's in COVID protocol now for the Islanders. Matthew Barzal, their best forward, Vancouver boy. All right, we got to keep rolling. We got to get an NBA.
Rangers team total over 2.5 -117. Rangers team total over 2.5 -117. Okay, Jim.
Let's do it. You got it. And I think I might double up and tail that.
Okay. Let me just quit. Okay, yes, right. 2.5 -117. All right, ready to move on, Jim?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, Toronto, Edmonton. This is a no clue on this one. Ask Jimmy. Game for me. Toronto, of course, a great team, but actually lost 3 of their last 5. The 2 wins maybe a little bit unimpressive. And then Edmonton, we know who's on that team, but they've lost 5 in a row. They're not really scoring. What's up with them now? Do they suck now? I have no clue. That's why we're going to ask Jimmy the Bag what he thinks. That's why I intro the games and Jimmy the Bag gives the expert opinions. Because if he introed this game and he said, let's kick it to Pete, get his take on this game, I would be like, I have no fucking clue. Let's kick it back to Jimmy the Bag. You know what I'm saying?
I think that Birdie gave such a succinct, perfectly put breakdown of these Toronto Maple Leafs. And I was listening to the game on the radio against the Blackhawks, and I just kept thinking, how am I not up 20 units on the NHL season working with these guys? The Maple Leafs are a fade right now. They're a fade, but no one can back the Oilers with the defensive mess that they're in right now. And coming off their 5th straight loss, see, one thing that happens when you lose your defenseman, it doesn't mean that you allow more goals. It means you start scoring less goals because you aren't getting outlet passes. The Leafs coming off their 2nd win in 3 games, extremely underwhelming 5-4 at home over the Blackhawks. They weren't capable of holding on to a lead. So you have Jack Campbell. Jack Campbell's numbers are going to start going down because of what's happening in front of him. And, the Maple Leafs aren't as good as their record indicates. And these are 2 teams that I would like to bet against. There's 2 teams here that I want to fade.
Right.
So, Johnny K says Keith back and Oilers smash spot. Keith is bad. And that's not just because he made the Penticton Panthers when I couldn't get through rookie camp or move on to main camp. And he was the star of that team. He's one of the worst players in the NHL in Corsi numbers. He's terrible. So him coming back, what does that help morale in the locker room? Who cares? This defense is an absolute mess, and I can understand why the market's moving towards them because they're a legitimate fade. But now Edmonton has no Zach Hyman, so they're back to what they were last year, which is you play them in the playoffs, you can completely shut them down because they only have one line that can go at you. Chris Russell. He's broke the record, right? He's blocked more shots than any player in the history of the NHL, at least since we started doing the stat. So, yeah, they get Keith back, which will help. But I can understand it being an Oilers or no bet, but this is very simple no bet for me. I don't want either of these hockey teams, and I want to fade them both as we move forward.
Okay, that's great. There you go. No bet on this one, but some great info from Jimmy about what to think about going forward. Excuse me, I'm a little bit sick here. All right, let's want to move on, Jimmy the Bag.
Yes, let's roll on.
All right, here's the third pick that you love. Of course, Columbus, Vancouver. Columbus, they can get a win here and there, but in general, not that good. Vancouver, there you go. Coaching change. All of a sudden, they're the new Chicago Blackhawks. All of a sudden, they're playing great defense. They're winning. They're kicking ass. And the question is just, how long is it going to last? How long do you want to ride this wave? Jimmy the Bag obviously says for at least one more game. Definitely. He loves it. Vancouver -1. Tell us why, Jimmy the Bag.
No, I don't believe. No? Look, yes, Gabby Boudreau is exactly what the team needed. I love him as a coach, and Demko is doing what we thought he was capable of. And I wish I was on this run with you guys cashing the Canucks. And if whoever wants to keep betting the Canucks, go do it. But their players haven't changed. Just the mentality around the group has changed. And
well, you can say the same thing about the Blackhawks when they had the coaching change a couple weeks ago, right?
Yeah, you can't, except Gabby Boudreau. I mean, this is like a Hall of Famer coming in to coach the boys, so it's a little different. Turnsy's on Vancouver -1. I imagine that everybody's going to be on Vancouver -1, but the market hasn't moved at all. And in fact, that's not the case here. 49% of the tickets on Columbus, 63% cash. I do not believe in this Canucks team. And, they're rolling right now. TC says taking the Canucks on this game. This was just a situation where I imagined everybody was going to be on the Vancouver Canucks. And why was the market not moving? And the Jackets snapped their 2-game losing streak with a 5-4 win at Seattle on Sunday. They were dominating that game. They let their foot off the gas in the third period, and they're going to get laid into for that. So Birdie's on Canucks in regulation, says Blue Jackets struggle on the road. Canucks are just a better team right now. Really like the spot for the Canucks. Blue Jackets struggle on the road. Look, the Canucks penalty killing is still at 66.3%. And anybody who wants to back the Canucks, go do it. Go do it. But I don't want to be, late to the party and early to the funeral. And this is the same group of players that were garbage. So I don't see that. Look, I get it, but I'm not on them.
Fair enough. And it sounds to me, don't let me put words in your mouth, sounds to me like you might be looking to Vancouver as maybe being an auto fade maybe in January or at some point where when the shine of the new coach wears off and they go back to struggling game in and game out.
I do, yes.
Okay, sounds good. All right, so pass for you, right, Jim?
Yes, it's a pass.
All right, this one, now I'm going to nail it. This is the third pick that Jimmy the Bag likes on this card. And I know that for a fact because this is the last game on the card. So this is it. Here it is. Jimmy the Bag loves San Jose, and it's understandable. Seattle lost 3 in a row. They had been getting some wins before that, but the Kraken also lost top-line center Yanni Gourde and Sheehan to COVID protocol. But I guess maybe more importantly, Reimer's playing great in goal for San Jose. I was thinking San Jose as well, but I definitely didn't didn't jump out at me as an obvious great play at the line that it jumped out to Jimmy as. But he loves San Jose. I definitely don't disagree with it. And after hearing him break it down, I'll probably tail it and add it to my card as well. Jimmy the Bag, loving San Jose. Tell us why.
Yes, I'm all over the Sharks here. They're a bet-on team to me at home and on the road, really. I think you're getting really nice numbers against them. Kraken have been really bad on the road, 3-7-2. Yanni Gourde takes away a lot of their defensive responsibilities. The Lightning miss them very much. San Jose's penalty killing is at 80.
Is he definitely out for this one?
Sorry?
Is he definitely out, though?
Let me see if he is definitely out. But this is a comfortable spot for me backing the better hockey team. And Yanni Gourde, COVID-19. These guys don't usually come back on the road.
Right.
So, he's been awesome this year, too. He's a hell of a little hockey player. He's a hell of a player. And I'm very comfortable. I'm very comfortably on San Jose. I really think that they're the better hockey team here. We're getting an excellent number. Reimer's been very good this year, 1.98 goals against average, 937 save percentage. The Sharks have a lot to prove. And oh wow, Devin Taves out with COVID for the Avalanche. God, I gotta bet that. Gotta bet the Rangers as soon as possible.
Wow.
Bet the Rangers as soon as possible. So yeah, I'm all over.
Go ahead, Jim.
I'm just all over the Sharks. I think this is those 3 spots on the board. I'm in love with. Flyers -1, Wild -1, Sharks -1.
I just need one 10-second analysis. Seattle lost 3 in a row, and they didn't look that good. They were at home, but before that, they were like, what is this? 3-1, 3-2, 4-2. They won 5 out of 7 before that. What's your not doesn't matter that much to you, or you think they're still basically a subpar team?
The Kraken are a subpar team. Yeah, they're offensive players, the Eberles and the Schwartzes. And McCann not as much, but Eberle and Schwartz, as much as I like them as hockey players, they're not good defensively. And they can be a liability defensively. And if you're not sorry?
I'm just saying, look at these teams they beat. Washington, Carolina, Florida, Edmonton, all of them. Beat all of them.
I said on this show, 3 weeks ago, that Seattle is better than the record indicates, which means that we're getting value betting them, and they should be bet. And I agree with that. But on the road, they're 3-7-2, and San Jose is a tough place to play.
Yes. All right, I'll join you, Jimmy the Bag. I will take San Jose. What do you like, the puck line or the money line better? I'm going to tell you on this one. What do you like better?
I'm on the -1 line. I got Seattle. Sorry, let me just move here. I got Seattle -1 at +109. I got -145 and +167.
All right, I'll take San Jose -1. I'm seeing +115 right now at Pinnacle, so I'll take that one. San Jose -1 +115 current line at Pinnacle.
Beautiful. Let's do a quick review, and then we got to get into NBA right away. We have Dutchie waiting to hop on the show. This is a review of action. I have interest, so we're no move on Vegas, Boston. I have interest on and if you want to add anything to your card, Pete, I'll be following your Twitter feed. The under 1.5, I'm interested in LA, Tampa. The under 6.5 in the Senators' first period, I want to move on. The Flyers -1. I love, and Pete has jumped on at -1 at +132. Montreal, Pittsburgh, no action for us. Pete's on Detroit, team total over 2.5. Barzal's now in COVID protocol, and the Red Wings are -120 favorites. Pete's on the mini money line -145. I'm on mini -1, but I'm going to add either the Hurricanes team total under or the full under once it goes to 6. The under in the Buffalo Winnipeg game is something I want to take a look at. Pete's on Dallas -1 at +110. I do want to find out what's going on with the flu bug with them. I am going to move on the Rangers and to move on them as soon as possible. And Devin Taves is a hell of a defenseman. Toronto, Edmonton is a stay-off spot for us. And then I'm not on Columbus, Vancouver. And then San Jose -1 for Pete, and I'm on San Jose -1 as well.
Okay, and I just have one quick question. I'm thinking of adding doubling up with San Jose, team total over 2.5 -154. What do you think about that?
I like it, but they seem to be running a real tight ship here.
Yeah.
I like it. I think I expect them to score over 2.5 goals in this game. But they have been winning games 2-1. So
They
like
beat
it.
Dallas 2-1. Yeah, the last one. But then they put up 5 against Calgary before. Yeah, they do have a bunch of. All right, I guess I'll just not go crazy and just hold off on that one for now. Okay.
But your call, I'd be happy to add it. You can let me know. I don't dislike it at all.
I'll just leave it where it is right now.
All right, let's move on to NBA, a man that I have the pleasure of capping with all the time, and I enjoyed immensely, but making his first Loshak and the Bag debut. The Loshak and the Bag debut here, and God, he's a hell of a cap. Dutch boy, fresh in the house. Dutchy, what's happening?
Jimmy the motherfucking Bag. Salute to you, my guy, Mr. P. All the ladies, gents, and DJs for tuning in. You already know it's all love. But you already know, Jimmy, it's Tombstone Tuesday, and your boy's out for blood. And the NBA, well, that's just my game. Yeah, man.
I love it. We have very interesting games here on the card, and we have Bembry, James Johnson, Aldridge, and Javon Carter all ruled out today for safety and health protocols. Again, health and safety protocols creating a mess here across all sports. Raptors 13-14, 7-5 on the road. Brooklyn Nets 19-8, 8-5 at home. We're at Barclays Center in Brooklyn, New York. Toronto 4-1 over their past 5, 27th in pace over those games at 94.40 possessions a game, while Brooklyn 3-2, 13th in pace at 98.30 possessions a game. Let's start with the market here. Move over to NBA, and then we'll talk very quickly about the cash flow, where that lands. And then we will give a gut here if Pistol is moving on it and move from there. So Toronto opening up as 8.5-point dogs. That has moved to 5 with this information coming out about the COVID protocols. The total's gone from 217 to 215. When we go over to the cash flow in this spot, we have 6,405 tickets in. 33% of the tickets are on the Nets, 54% of the cash, 42% of tickets on the under, 70% of the cash on the under, and it's dropped. Raptors are on the second half of a back-to-back after finishing off a successful 7-game homestand last night by beating up on Sacramento 124-101 for their 4th win in 5 games. Toronto topped 120 points for the 3rd time this season, and no player played over 32 minutes. Bouquett led the Raptors 17 points. That's his 4th straight in double figures. Siakam and Scotty Barnes each had 16, and in our sports radio right now, it's all Scotty Barnes. And how lucky are we that we have Scotty Barnes on our team to build around as we move forward. And that was the 10th straight game in double figures for Scotty Barnes. The Raptors are dealing with Van Fleet not hitting his shots. He's hitting 33% over his past 4 games. Kem Birch Nananobi out for the foreseeable future, says Nick Nurse. Precious Achua is out for 10 days while he self-isolates in COVID protocols. He'd already missed last 2 games with a shoulder injury. Delano Banton, who's become a huge favorite here, he's a Toronto boy out of Scarborough, is also sick but non-COVID related. So that means the Raptors will have just 10 players available. Malachi Flynn will be playing because Banton is out of action. And Brooklyn just finished off a 3-1 road trip on Sunday, beat the Pistons 16-14. Kevin Durant is dominating 4th quarters right now. And Millsap missed next 2 games COVID protocol, but he barely sees the floor, and Joe Harris out. Pete, is there anything that interests you here before we go to Dutch Boy?
No, I mean, I looked this on the overnight. I was like, the Nets obviously just seem overvalued at home, but the line was 8.5. Now it's down to 5. So that's because someone's out, right, Jim?
Yes, Aldridge, Johnson, Carter, and Bembry.
All right, so I guess I would have the same opinion. I would say probably they're, again, even just at 5, probably overvalued at home. But I have no idea. I'm not really that good at handicapping NBA. I'm pretty good at listening to other people handicap NBA, though. So let's see. They say this guy's good. Let's see what he can do for us. Let's kick it over to Dutch Boy Fresh. This is a tough one to start this, though. This is a tough one.
Yeah, man. We did lose some value here. I actually locked this in first thing this morning at 4.5 first half. I agree with actually everything you said, Pete, with the fact that the Nets are overvalued at home with 8.5. I looked more of the edge with the first half with the Raptors coming off a back-to-back against the Kings last night. Played well against the Kings, blew them out, had 9 players in double figures. Playing really good basketball of late. I mean, for the Raptors, they've actually won 4 of the last 5, but they've been playing really good defense, allowing 96 points per game in that span. They're gritty. They're good on third and second chance points at 15.9 points a game. Excuse me, very top 3 in turnover, 19.4, and first and fast break points at 15.7. So they do the small things right. I think that simply the Nets are overvalued very much at home, especially in the first half. Now the Nets are 1-5 ATS in the last 6 first half, 0-5, 0-5 ATS in their last 5 at the house, 3-9 ATS, 1 ATS on the season at the house, you guys. So they haven't played good basketball. They're actually a better team on the road. But now with this COVID effect, I do believe there's still value at the 5. The first half, I don't know, maybe it's actually better to take this more of a full game now, simply because the Nets fucking roster's halfway gone with Ulrich, Brimley, everyone out, and they already were missing Joe Harris, James Harden coming back now, off of the rest. But I just look at the Raptors playing gritty. I think the main thing with them is rebounding a lot lately without Birch and OG coming out. They were actually out rebounded against the Kings and the Knicks, but still won that game. So, and my big thing about the Nets is simply they don't have anything down low, no protection. And now even without Ulrich, Millsap was already out with COVID. So they're pretty much relying on Claxton and Kevin Durant down low now. So I believe the Raptors will be in this game, a chance to be live. But I don't know, Jim. I don't know if I'm going to make anything official here because I got the 4.5 first half. Maybe I could look at the 5 full game, but I don't want to take a bad number, to be honest with you, boss.
Okay.
Makes perfect sense.
Not bad.
Makes perfect sense. Get the Raps first half plus 4.5. They're on the second half of a back-to-back, so you can imagine that you can trust that they'll have legs. Early.
And the Raptors are 5-0 ATS in their last first half as well, and they lost the last 2 games versus the Nets by 13 points both, but they covered the first half in both games. So in the last 2 meetings, so the first half was a strong play for me at 4.5. I believe it's down to 2.5 now. Not so much, but I obviously still like the Raptors first half.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not bad, Jimmy the Bag. They said he was good. I like this guy, Dutch Boy Fresh. Not
My
bad.
man. Hey, but Cassius is good, baby. It's good.
That all makes sense here. When we're dealing with these teams being attacked with injuries and with COVID issues, it really changes the way you can trust, angles here. So I can completely understand not wanting to get involved. But great job getting that 4.5 first half. That's a thing of beauty. All right, let's move on to game 2 here, and this one is very exciting. 7:30 p.m. Golden State Warriors 21-5, 7-3 on the road at New York Knicks 12-15, 5-9 at home. Madison Square Garden in New York. New York last 5. The Warriors are 3-2. They're 10th in pace at 98.7 possessions a game, while the Knicks are 1-4, 28th in pace at 93.70 possessions a game. We have New York opening up as 4.5-point dogs. That's moved to 5 at a couple books. This total opened up at 211. It's now at 212. We go to the cash flow, 7,565 tickets in. 32% of the tickets, 42% of the cash on the Knicks. Then you have 68% of the tickets and 96% of the cash on the over, and it's gone up 1 point. JPZ, respect, man. Now I have that song playing in my head as we speak. One of my favorite songs of all time.
That's my guy.
JPZ, thank you, my man. Warriors on the second half of back-to-back after defeating the Pacers 102-100 last night in Indiana for their third win in 4 games. Curry goes for 26, 1 3-pointer away from tying Allen's NBA record. He went 5 of 15 from 3. He is shooting 36.8% from 3 in 6 games this month. He's hit more than 40% of his attempts just twice in that span. Knicks coming off their third straight loss, 112-97 at home to the Bucks on Sunday night. Since the 5-1 start, they're 7-14. Obi Toppin and RJ Barrett in COVID-19 protocols. Alec Burks was there for the birth of his child, and he's expected to be back in action tonight. New York played with just 9 players on Sunday. That include Miles McBride's 46 seconds. So another team dealing with the loss of players. Pistol Pete, Warriors, Knicks. Is there anything you're interested in?
Well, this is how I break down NBA, Jimmy the Bag. My first thought, obviously, there's all the hype surrounding Steph Curry, right? So they go into New York and they're a road favorite. So my thought would be to take the Knicks under normal circumstances. But because they suck so embarrassingly bad, I'm not going to be able to do it. This is how I break down NBA. Let's kick it to Fresh.
Yeah, man. I actually think your first thought's pretty good, but I agree though, man. Hey, this COVID's a motherfucker. I can't lie. This shit will not go away. It's fucking with a lot. It's fucking with the way I cap now. I mean, Grimes is also out as well, and he had a beautiful game last time out. I believe 27. He was going to be in the starting lineup. Now he's entered protocols as well this morning. But I watched the whole game last night with the Warriors and the Pacers. That was a tough game. That was a playoff type game last night. The Warriors did everything they could to get out of that game with a W, and Draymond gave away the fucking cover for me at -3.5. Wanted to just give the ball to the Pacers. They didn't want to shoot the free throws at the end, but that's another story. But watching that game, Curry is pressing. You watch the Sixers game; he pressed against the Sixers. He's pressing against the Pacers. Turned the ball over 7 times last night. The whole team, I believe, is pressing a little bit. They're shooting 25% from 3 the last 2 games, turning the ball over at an extreme high rate. And another thing about the Warriors is they foul an awful lot. They put their opponent on the free throw line numerous 25, 30 times attempts a game. They just, I don't know if it's because they don't want to move their feet or what, but they foul an awful lot. They're just overly aggressive, but they foul the opponent a lot. So I look for New York to attack, and I don't really think they have anything for Julius Randle. Watching the game last night, Sabonis was doing what he will. Sabonis looked like all world last night inside. Brogdon was able to get to the hole at will and just do what he wanted. LeVert as well. So I look for the Knicks guards, a lot of Derrick Rose, and Burks will be back obviously as well to attack the paint. And then of course the engine runs off of Julius Randle. You need him to be ultra aggressive, attack. Don't settle for that little 17-foot jumper. You can hit them open threes if you want, but attack. And of course, he leads the team in assists as well. So I do like the Knicks here, Jim, at +5. I just believe that game last night took an awful lot. This streak has taken an awful lot out of Curry, but that game last night has taken a lot out of this team. It is the 4th game in 6 nights as well. They're 1-4 ATS last 5 against the number, and 1-3 ATS last 4 on the road. So I'm going to lock in the Knicks here at +5. Another thing I like here is that the Warriors had issues with the plane last night. So they waited to take off, didn't end up taking off, and then they ended up leaving this morning to fly to New York. So Draymond was, acting like a little bitch about it, talking shit. Oh, wow, I can't believe it. We wait all this time to take a flight, and now, we got on a back-to-back. We got to fly in on the same day. Wow. So obviously he thinks it's an issue, and if Draymond thinks it's an issue, the whole fucking team thinks it's an issue. So that's just another thing to me that goes towards the energy. I believe the Knicks will be able to stay in this game, maybe not win, but +5 they'll be live, and the Warriors will be very tired, mid-3rd quarter. And of course, Curry's going to get that record, but that's going to obviously, fill in with the Knicks as well. I believe into the game because of course Curry's going to get 2 threes. But, that could give the Knicks a little more feel while all these motherfuckers are celebrating that, that record.
Wow. Shout out to Trotwam, who also gave us that information about the Warriors. It's just, does anyone want to address my handicapping analysis on this game, which is just the Knicks are just awful. It's embarrassing.
Hey, I agree. Yeah, you notice I didn't say much positive about the Knicks. It's simply a fade the Warriors spot, to be honest with you. They got NBA talent. I think they got enough to get inside. They can exploit the Warriors' weakness, which is inside. Looney played 27 minutes last night and played out of his fucking mind, and that's a lot of minutes for Looney. When you look down that bench, they don't have another big. Attack. Noel, Mitchell, Robinson, they should be able to have their way here, hit the boards. And I'm not saying they're going to win the game, but you're giving me a nickel. They're live to win it.
I love it. You got +5 at -110 at Pinnacle, and I'm going to ride with you here. Do we have any? Were you close to wanting the first half as well here with everything going on with the Warriors that the Knicks should run at them early, and with the idea of the going for the record and all that?
Yeah, my main edge here, Jim, is strictly I believe the Warriors are beat fucking tired. So the longer the game goes, the more the edge to the Knicks. Because I know the Warriors are a better team. This is strictly a spot play for the Knicks. As long as they show up, which I don't know how you don't show up when everybody's talking about, Curry in the garden. This is a Knicks game where you show up. They bring their fucking lunch pail. Thibodeau gets in their ass, and they play a full 48 minutes.
Man,
I love
that's a hell
this.
of a breakdown. That does make sense. So it's a little bit like because Curry's coming in, it's a little bit like a rivalry game in college basketball or something. They're gonna bring it for this game.
Right. They've been talking about for 4 days straight that he's going to do it at the Garden. That's all they've been talking about. That's all the Knicks have been hearing about, how Curry's going to come in and break the record at the Garden. I mean, it's not – to me, I think this is a game they show up. You get the best effort from the Knicks. And it's a perfect spot for the Warriors for what I've said.
I love it.
That Wally says, "Hey, Pete, take it from me, Dutch nose cap and NBA."
My guy.
I love this. I think
it's a 50-50 motherfucking thing, but I like it. I go with what I see and what I feel.
I love it. Steve Profit liking it too. I think this is a great look, and I'm all over it. I love it. I love it. And look, Sammy Comer said,
Jim, you can throw that on my record. +5 minus whatever 112. I'm sure there's 110s around, right?
There is.
Oh, the pressure's on now.
The pressure is on now.
Let's get it, man. Pressure. I do well under pressure. It's a beautiful thing.
Okay.
It's a beautiful
I love this. Okay, let's keep rolling here. The last game on the card. And by the way, Sammy Comer said Marchand just entered COVID protocols 10 minutes ago. I don't know how we're going to make football bets early in the week here this week. I mean, it's just an absolute joke. It's just going to keep happening nonstop.
I don't know how many times you've said that today so far already, Jim. Somebody in protocol. It's crazy.
It's horrible. I just got to get down to LA, dude. Just make sure I can get to fucking LA. All right, 10 p.m. Eastern, last game on the NBA card. Phoenix Suns at Portland. Trailblazers. Suns 21-4, 9-2 on the road. Blazers 11-16, 10-5 at home at Moda Center in Portland, Oregon. Phoenix last 5, 3-2, 8th in pace at 99.1 possessions game, while Portland 0-5, 4th in pace at 99.60 possessions game. By the way, we have Mark Unkefer in the house here commenting enough. Mark Unkefer was the mascot, the trusted mascot of the Gary Katz baseball team, and he sent me a video, and it's magic. It made me fall in love with Mark even more. So we do have Rusty, the Rail Cats mascot, in the chat right now. Okay, Suns are on the second half of a back-to-back after losing 111-95 at the Clippers last night. Suns open up as 1.5-point favorites. That hasn't moved here that I see. And this total opening up at 219. There's 219.5s and 220s. When we go into the cash, 4,627 tickets in. We have 57% of the tickets, 56% of cash on the Suns, and no movement. 57% of tickets on the over, 64% of cash on the over. So the Suns shot 37.5%, 7-29 from 3. Booker hamstring, DeAndre Ayton non-COVID illness. Booker's going to miss his 6th straight game, and Ayton is expected to sit out for the 3rd straight outing. But I was a little, again, it's just that situation where when someone's sick, they seem to be coming back at home. So Cameron Johnson led the Suns with 17 points. Against the Clips. Bridges goes for 16. Paul 4-14. Blazers coming off their 5th straight loss in 8 to 9 games, 116-111 at home versus Minnesota. Damian Lillard returned after a 5-game absence, 24 and 11 boards, but 5 of 17 from the field. Anthony Simons, 26 points and 6 threes. And McCollum with the collapsed lung will miss his 4th straight game. And Cody Zeller, fractured knee, will miss his 3rd straight game. Any interest for you here, Pete?
Yeah, I was looking at this one. I was scratching my head a little bit. I thought the under might be a decent play, and it's been a while. But in 2004, I actually did kill NBA totals. That's when the Spurs would have totals at 195 every game, and there should have been 10 points lower. Lillard back is great, but I think they're definitely going to D up now a little bit more in their 2nd game with him back at home, and I'm thinking the under is a good play, and I might make it official unless I hear something that puts me off of. Under 219, Dutch Boy Fresh. What do you think?
Yeah, man, I'm not really big on them totals, to be honest with you, P. But this spot right here, this is a tough game. Just I actually scratched my head a little bit here, and I was really scratching my head, motherfucking, last night when I had the Suns -3 against the Clippers, and they, forgot they played last night. They didn't get off the fucking plane. Horrible game last night. 37% from the field, 27% from 3. They allowed the Clips to shoot 55% from 3 and from the field, and 43% from 3-point line, and that was without their stud PG. Just not showing up night at all. CP3 had a bad night. You touched on it, and when Cam Johnson's your leading scorer, it's not going to be a good night for Phoenix. I believe Bridges was the only one that had it somewhat. Bridges was really the only guy. Him and Cam Johnson were the only 2 that looked good last night. McGee has been playing well. He had 13 and 13 last night, but if you watch the game, it was not a very good game for JaVale McGee. Horrible game for the whole, pretty much Phoenix Suns. Monty said they just didn't have, just didn't have the rhythm in the offense and got too far behind. They stayed within that 12 to 16 point range pretty much there for a while, but just couldn't get out of the hole they dug from the get-go. But the Suns are just, a better team. I want to go back to the window here with the Suns. I really do, because I fade the Blazers. I mean, I really do. The Blazers, I took the Wolves, and the Wolves I've been a horrible team of late. Lost 5 straight. Anyone who's went in there has just been blowing the Wolves out. They go into P-Town, beat them outright as a 3-point dog, led from start to finish. The Blazers had 42 points versus the Wolves off the bench. Had 18 threes, out-rebounded them, and still lost that game outright at home. Now, they lost 5 straight, 8 out of the last 9. They're allowing 116 points per game the last 5. So when you say under, Blazers and under doesn't go in the same sentence to me, to be honest. But the last 5, they're 0-4 ATS at the house. Now, they have guys in and out of the lineup. I don't know if Damian Lillard is quite healthy yet. Maybe rushing him back with C.J. McCollum, the other big guy. Obviously the 2 big guns out with C.J. being out. They're 1-9 ATS last 10 as a dog here, being a short dog here. Now the Suns are 7-3 ATS the last 10 meetings here versus Portland. 8-2 straight up in the last 10 on the road, and 18-2 straight up in the last 20 games. I think we have to look Phoenix here. And another thing I look at, Jim, the last time you guys were in P-Town, October 23rd of last year, lost by 29 points. I think Phoenix might remember that. We're getting Phoenix here probably in a good spot off a loss here last night. None of the guys played too many minutes. CP3 did play 33 minutes. Everyone else was pretty much right under 30. And I kind of like CP3 to bounce back here, Jim, off of that horrible night, -15, 4-14 from the field. I think the Phoenix are just a better team right now. I'd love it if Ayton was out there. But I think we're getting a good number here with Phoenix. What do you think, Jim?
Honestly, I feel like the game means so much more to the Blazers here. And
it's a tough game. I haven't bet this game yet.
The Suns can just jump on the plane and go home regardless. I mean, if they go home, they're 21-5. The Blazers need to change this fast. And at home's the only place. I mean, look, they're 10-5 at home, and they're 11-16 overall. So, in saying that, I don't think I want to press the button on the Blazers. So, the game makes me really uncomfortable. I think the Phoenix kind of mailing it in at times with injuries is something that they've afforded themselves the ability to do with that spectacular 18-game winning streak. And so now, to me, this is a Blazers or no bet, and I love the Knicks look so much. I don't see why I would risk cash here.
I hear you. Yeah, this is one of those games where I was just like, do I want to force something? But I kind of, because I do. But the Suns, I have a sour taste in my mouth when I woke up from the Suns. But I just feel like they're such a better team. But it does kind of look like a Blazers spot.
Yeah, Ski agrees. I wonder if he agrees enough to bet Portland. I'll have to watch your show today.
No, he don't. Maybe though. Maybe though. I would highly doubt it. But he bet Sacramento the other night, so maybe he does.
Well, someone would have to instill more confidence in me to actually trust the Portland spot. But God, I'll just put it as a question mark and stare at it.
They don't have any bigs off the bench.
Can I ask E-Profit? You have 5 or 6 words about the total? If anything, post them. I would really appreciate that. If not, no problem.
All right, Portland. And then very quickly, the hottest capper on the show by a mile, Mr. Jose Bouquett, has a look on the Knicks-Warriors game, and we blew past it. Jose, my man, he's won 11 of his last 12 bets for plus 17.18 units, coming off a 4-0 weekend plus 9.01 units, and the man deserves respect. Jose, please, welcome. Thank you for joining us.
Hello, gentlemen. I'll be quick. Stephen Curry's going to break the record. He enjoys playing in Madison Square Garden. I'm taking his points. I thought it would be higher. I thought it would be like 30. It's 26.5 right now on our friends at BetDog, aka Bovada. 26.5. I took it right now, and I'm looking at the line for you just to double check. But I'm gonna double check the line. But yeah, I think he's gonna dominate. Well, see, Dutch, you mess around with the 3-pointers. I'm a simple man, and I'll take it's 26.5 minus 123. So I got it at a better line than that, but I'll take it right now minus 123. 3-pointers right now on Bovada is 5.5 minus 120.
They want to run that stake back at the under on that if you want.
Well, Dutch, you see,
just a sec. Let's let Jose think about it. Speaking of stakes,
everybody in the audience, now listen to me carefully, is being given a special package, and I don't want you to open it. Do not open it. Cameras are on you, so do not open until I tell you. All right, open your boxes. Open your boxes. 1, 2, 3.
You get a steak. 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 Everybody gets a steak.
Oh my God.
Jose, is there a stake on the line here?
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. I know better than to pick on Dutch. I've learned my lesson there. However, I will say I am hot. So Dutch, I will get you on that stake again. I will get you.
I like the 26.5. I'm not mad at that, but I'll go under the threes. But yeah, I don't want to go under your bet. Stay hot, my man. Stay hot.
All right, Jose Say Hey play of the day. He's hit 11 of 12. Jose Say Hey play of the day. Curry over 26.5 points at minus 123 is locked in. Jose, stay hot, my man. Respect.
We're trying.
There he is, Jose Bouquett, and rolling hot. So Dutch Boy Fresh has made one look here. Knicks +5 at minus 110 at local.
Yeah, real quick, Jim. Do you have I also was looking at, because it is a smaller card. None of the props came out yet, but if you see a Julius Randle points, rebounds, and assists, I'll be looking into that. On that Knicks game. Nothing was out yet for me, so and I will be probably going on unders on some Steph Curry props, but I'll save that for later in the day and I'll tweet them out.
Okay,
36.5. Julius Randle, by the way, points, rebounds, and assists.
How much?
36.5 points, rebounds, and assists.
Okay, yeah. Let me shop around a little bit.
Take some time to study that. Yeah. If you tweet anything out and you tag me, I'll know that it's official for the show.
Yeah, he had 42 total in both meetings last year versus him, and I like the matchup inside against him. Draymond's too small, Looney too slow. They don't got nothing off the bench, so.
There he is, Dutch Boy Fresh, who stars on our big NBA Pub Hub every day, Monday to Friday at 4 p.m. Eastern, and both Pete and I are rolling on the Knicks look, and I love it. I absolutely love it, and I think I'm going to double up. Baby. I think I'm going to double up first half as well.
They're so bad, though, man. Like, after Curry breaks the record and all the pressure's gone, I just feel like they're going to get rolled, like, in the fourth quarter.
Hey, positive motherfucking vibes, Pete. Come on now. But I hear you, though.
I'm not cool like you. I'm nervous and neurotic. I don't know. Okay. I'll relax.
It's one unit, man. Roll up and enjoy the beautiful thing. It's going to be beautiful. New York, man. Enjoy it.
Okay. That was a hell of a – yeah, all right. You got it. Good.
Dutchy, thank you so much for rolling with us, man. Can't wait to have you back on the show Thursday. Follow our guy, Dutch Boy Fresh, on Twitter at Dutch Boy Fresh. Dutchy, any last words?
I appreciate you guys. Y'all stay up. Stay fresh.
There he is, Dutch Boy Fresh in the house. Jared TG says Randall been playing like dirty shit water.
Yeah,
dirty shit water. All right, Taint play of the day is in as well, and it's college basketball. That is exciting. We will talk about that with our next guest, whose leadership has been putting money in my pocket. The Cupcake King here to guide us through his 4 best looks in NCAA basketball. Please welcome to the show none other than Mr. Maxwell Smart in the house. Maxie, what's happening, my man?
Jim, I really like your hat. It's very bright. It's very colorful, very rainbowish. Hopefully, you wear it with lots of fucking good winners coming from underneath it. So I like it. Maybe I'd steal it from you. So if I'm at your house, just make sure you keep an eye on that thing.
Keep an eye
I
on
may wear it out, leave one of my hats. But
maybe we trade.
I'm here for the business. I'm here for the cupcakes, maybe some trail mix, and of course, always apple juice and water. Like a fucking 5-year-old. I don't care. Okay. This is a big slate, Jim. This is an interesting slate. This is a Lady of the Night paying type slate.
Ooh.
And I'm hoping that I picked the right games to talk with you and Pete about. And Pete studied them hard. And Pete's ready to tell me what I'm on before I tell everybody else.
Yeah. Actually, I've been a little bit under the weather this weekend, so I didn't look at all the overnight lines yet. I looked at a few, but not all of them. So, but yeah, I have a few plays that I took on the overnight.
Well, let's get right to work. And Max, thank you for your patience. I know that you were supposed to come on earlier, so thank you so much for your patience. Let's get to work here, Max. We start at 7 p.m. Eastern. The VMI Cadets 7-4, 2-3 on the road at Wake Forest. Demon Deacons 9-1, 7-0 at home. We're at Lawrence Joel Veterans Memorial Coliseum in Winston-Salem. VMI comes in off their fourth straight win, 64-61 at home over Gardner-Webb. On Saturday is 2.5-point favorites. Wake Forest comes in off their third straight win, an easy 79-53 home victory over South Carolina as 25.5-point favorites. Virginia Military opening up as 15.5-point dogs. They are now 15-point dogs. Shoot, here, so I'm going to move that here. And then totals-wise, we have this total opening up at 148.5. It's moved to 150 or 150.5. Did you get a chance to take a peek at this, Pete?
Yeah, I mean, it was a pass for me, and I think it will continue to be up until game time. But I was wondering why Max chose this one, and I'm assuming it's got to be because he took Wake Forest. I mean, Wake Forest is a great vibe surrounding the team right now, and they have been covering all of these double-digit favorite spread lines. VMI, doing well ATS recently, but now they're going on the road facing Wake Forest. They haven't faced anyone this good yet this year, and it looks like another double-digit fave spread cover for Wake Forest, although I didn't bet that one yet. And a little bit of money has come in on VMI. I looked, it was 15.5 on the overnight. Now it's down to 15. We'll see where it closes, but I got to assume Max likes Wake Forest here, and I wouldn't disagree with that.
Maxie, take it away.
Yeah, absolutely. Pete is nailed it right on the head. I think that when you look at Wake Forest in this number range, in this situational spot, they have smashed. They did play a quality underdog, a double-digit underdog, in my opinion, in Kennesaw State. They dispatched them. And I think that with Alondis Williams really taking complete ownership of this offense from the backcourt, he's coming off a triple-double. And I just think that this team plays very confidently at home. They have depth. They have a good defensive system. They're not relying on the three-point shot. And with Wake Forest, the way that they defend the three, the way that they shoot the three, I have to look at Wake Forest in the game. But for the show, I think that even though we have missed the best of the number, where the number did open at 147.5, we are up to 150, I believe, 150.5. I still like the over. I still think that with VMI, you have Jake Stevens in the middle, who's going to be able to score down low against anybody in Wake Forest front court. And I think that when you look at Camdy Kerfman, he's a guy that does not need a lot of space to get his three off. And both those guys are on. They are going to contribute scoring-wise. But this is a game where I think Wake Forest can score 95, and I see VMI again to 70-something. So I'm looking at the over, Jim. So I'd like the best number, and if I can get the help from the chat as always in finding us the best number for the show, that'd be wonderful.
I have Will Hill still hanging at 149.5. I would love it if someone could help vouch for that.
All right. Well, give me the bag line chops. I can comment a little bit. Yeah, I mean, I've talked a lot about like December college basketball games and situations, and if Wake Forest was fully motivated, to put up 90, they definitely could. I'm just not going to bet it because, mid-December at home against VMI after Wake Forest has been, rolling everyone they've outclassed up till now, definitely they could get a big scoring win here if they want to. I'm just not completely convinced that they'll be fully motivated, and so I'm going to hold off as far as the bet's concerned. I love your analysis, Max, and I agree with it, but I'm just letting you know why I'm not going to bet it myself.
Fair enough.
So I'm going to jump on Will Hill. Oh, these are just the featured games. Come on, let's not be asses here. So let me see if I can find. I can definitely get you a 150, but I want to get you that 149.5. See if FanDuel can give it to us here. VMI, come on. Yes, VMI. Yes, 149.5 and minus 110 is available at FanDuel. So let's get Max in right now here on this VMI game. Over 149.5 at minus 110. And we roll on. We've had tappers ask about this game, and I'm excited that you have it on the docket. 7 p.m. Eastern, Monmouth Hawks, 8-2, 6-2 on the road at Yale. Bulldogs, 6-6, 4-1 at home. We're at John J. Lee Amphitheater in New Haven, Connecticut. Monmouth here. This total opened up at 144. It's shot up to 147. So we have a 3-point move towards the over in this game. And then we have Monmouth opening up as 1-point favorites, and that's flipped over to Yale. Yale now 1-point favorites in this spot. Monmouth bounced back off just their second loss of the season, 88-83 at St. John's, by winning at Pittsburgh 56-52 on Sunday as 1.5-point favorites. Yale comes in off their second loss in 3 games, 91-77 at Iona as 5-point dogs. I love this game. This game's on your card, Max. Can't wait to hear your breakdown. Pete, have you looked at Monmouth Yale?
Oh, I looked at it. I didn't touch it, and I'm not gonna, but I looked at it. You know, Monmouth, of course, for people who don't know, 10-0 ATS so far this year. Yale has not been a good bet ATS-wise, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they're a good bet. Monmouth's going to be a good bet again here. And notable, kind of eye-opening market move, as you just pointed out. I saw it at Yale plus 2.5 on the overnight. Now it's up to -1. So someone made some strong bets in favor of Yale. I'm not going to touch it. I'd love to hear what Max has to say about it. It's a pass for me.
Maxie, take it away.
Yeah, for me, guys, we know where I'm going. If it works, you keep on working it until it breaks. And that's what we're doing with Monmouth. When we look at Yale, let's break it down. They've played some cupcakes at home, and they barely beat both of those cupcakes. It took second half performances and being down at halftime to do that. Azari Swain, he's not going off for 30 plus tonight. That's the only way that Monmouth is going to lose it. So I don't see it. My number, I believe in my number. I don't give a fuck what the market is doing. My market number says I take Monmouth. You want to give me a plus price on the money line with them now? I will gladly take that shit. This is a team that is built to win. They are experienced. They have Division I transfer talent. And they have a big man in Walker Miller who I don't know how Yale's going to stop. So I could be dead wrong. This could be a complete flat spot. But how are you going to have a letdown spot after beating Pittsburgh? Like, that's like me getting excited that I got Wendy's to eat. I'm not getting excited about Wendy's. It's a square hamburger. A hamburger should be round and thick. Okay? So, give me Monmouth. Fuck the numbers. I go with my number, and that's take Monmouth on the money line. So,
wow.
Yeah.
There you go.
I love
I'll have
the
it Smarty.
By the way, there's enough tickets sample size out right now, surprisingly, in these games to give us some legit looks. VMI with 2,131 tickets in. VMI is 66% of the tickets and 94% of the cash, and that's why I've seen it move towards them there. Then the total, 68% of tickets on the over, 52% cash on the over. In this spot, Monmouth Yale, 51% of the tickets on Yale, 60% of the cash. And we know that 65% of the cash is on the under, but they haven't given us a ticket yet. Rem Mo says, but it's never frozen. But, I don't know. I'm looking at this one.
I want to know that for a fact. I'm not convinced that their burgers don't come frozen also.
You think they're lying?
Yeah, I think they're lying. I think that they're frosting them overnight and then just giving us the illusion that they didn't come out of a freezer and a vacuum seal package. That's the way I like my pod also. Vacuum sealed.
I love that you're calling them out. The best I can find right now is plus 100.
Yeah, that's the best that I got. So
okay,
that's fine.
Cool.
That's exactly what I bet.
All right. I love this breakdown. I love
Sorry, I got a little emotional about it.
I love.
But I'm
Razor was
I'm just
asking.
playing my number. I'm just playing.
Razor
my
was
number.
asking what you got when you bet the total in VMI Wake Forest, because he's studying that.
147.5.
You got 147.5. Okay. All right. So Max is in Monmouth plus 100 for Max. And Pete, does that interest you, or are we moving on?
No, it doesn't interest me, but I love the old the market moved against me, and now I like it more. Take from Maxwell Smart. Hell yeah, that's the mark of a true professional. There you go. We'll see how it turns out. I'm off though. I'm off the game.
All right. Next up, 8 p.m. Eastern, Alcorn State Braves. 1-7. They played their whole season on the road thus far. At Wichita State Shockers, 7-2, 4-1. We're at Wichita, Kansas for this one. It pops off at 8 p.m. Eastern. Let's see what we are dealing with from a cash situation here in Wichita. Where the hell are? There we go. Wichita State opening up as 20-point favorites. They're now 21 or 21.5-point favorites. This total opened up at 130. And the market's kind of all over the place. We see 129.5s, 130.5s, 131s. Let's see if we have a cash flow that we can discuss here. And we don't on this one. Okay, that's fine. And then we have Alcorn State coming off their second straight loss by 20 plus, 77-45 at Houston as 33.5 point dogs. That was 8 days ago. So this is a fresh Alcorn State Braves squad. Wichita State bounced back from their 66-59 home loss versus Kansas State by defeating Norfolk State at home on Saturday, 71-58 as 15.5-point favorites. They didn't cover. Pete, Alcorn State, Wichita, did you look?
Yes, I definitely looked at it. I didn't bet it yet, and we've seen some interesting movements. I'm not quite at Maxwell Smart's level yet. When the market moves against me, I don't like it even more. I usually like it a little bit less or a lot less. I thought that the line was a little bit high. I would have leaned Alcorn State at plus 20, and I thought the total was a little bit low. I would have leaned under at 128.5, but the market has moved in the opposite direction on both of those. My note on the game is maybe a shot with a Wichita State team total under at about 74, and now that's up to 75.5. So that's still what I'm thinking. I think it's a slight lean to the under, a little bit of a bigger lean to Alcorn State at plus 21, and maybe thinking about giving Wichita State team total under as an official play. I'd love to hear what Max has to say about this one.
Yeah, let's roll, Max. I'd love to hear it too.
Well, listen, guys, what have we learned from betting Alcorn State games is that they don't lose for you on the spread unless they're playing Tulane, and Tulane fucking put some crocodile freaking piss in their water and fuck them like that. It was terrible. It happened, but we're over it. I'm over it. Maybe not, but I'm trying to be. I'll tell you this. When I look at this Alcorn State team, they're a team that really plays team basketball. They have 8 or 9 contributors on any game. You don't know who's going to be the primary scoring option in that game. And I think that with Linnell Henry and Byron Joshua, these guys are going to have to step up. These are guys that can give you some ball facilitation. They can hit some free throws. They can hit some threes. I think that you just need Alcorn to slow this game down, limit the possessions. And these are two things that Wichita State is completely down with. So unless Alcorn gets completely blitzed early on and just doesn't recover, I think that this is an Alcorn first half and full game spot. And as far as the total, I'm not really going to give out a number now just because I want to wait and see how high this number goes up. Because if it goes up to 134 and we gave out 131 or 130.5 on the show, I'm going to be angry about that all night. And I may have to send someone some hateful messages.
That's a riddle. I wonder who gets those messages. Is it me? Okay. Alcorn State, Wichita State, first half, full game. We do see it 21.5 on the board. I'm just going to take a quick look here at Circa and at FanDuel. Pete, what do you think of the breakdown?
I agree with it completely. It's also in line with everything that I thought I was saying, but his was more articulate and obviously communicated his, being more well-informed. I'll throw on Wichita State team total under 75.5 minus 109. That's current line at Pinnacle. I'll make that official. Wichita State team total under 75.5 minus 109. It actually reminds me of a play that I tweeted out recently. I don't know if you caught it, Maxwell Smart. Northwestern team total under when they were playing New Jersey Tech. I like the under. I like New Jersey Tech. I was on both of those and they cashed, but I'm so careful careful about my public plays that the only one I gave was a Northwestern team total under. That one cashed. Very similar situation here. I'll take Wichita State team total under 75.5 minus 109 as an official play.
All right, that is locked in for you. So
Pete, I'll just say this. Sorry, Jim, I don't mean to interrupt you, but Pete, I'll just say this. You're fucking with your eyes open, bro. You're fucking with your eyes open. Okay?
Yes.
Your eyes are wide open, and you're doing the business, bro.
I'm seeing everything, and when I say everything, I mean everything. So even some of the shit you don't want to see, but that's how I'm rolling. And you recognize it.
I see, bro. I see.
Real recognize real. Those who fuck with their eyes open recognize those who fuck with their eyes open.
It's a way of life. It's a way of life.
He's even seeing some of the things that you don't want to see.
Oh, yeah. No, yeah. I mean, people are like, oh, I wish I could see everything. I'm like, no, you don't. Take it from someone who sees everything. No, you don't.
Okay, I can get you the 21.5 available at FanDuel for full game, and first half, 12.5 is available at Sports Interaction. I'm just going to double check and make sure that is valid.
And
so I'm going to do that.
Just to let you know, that is a half point better than what I bet.
Oh, beautiful. Well, I'd like to get that for you. So I'm just going to take a second just to ensure that it's there. Okay, let's move on to the final game here on the card. And I'm excited to hear this breakdown. 8 p.m. Eastern, Jacksonville Dolphins. They've been playing some good ball this year. 5-3, 1-3 on the road. Southern Miss Golden Eagles 4-5, 2-1 at home. We're at Hattiesburg, Mississippi. In Red Green. That's how you can tell I'm Canadian. At Red Green Coliseum. Reed Green Coliseum. Let's see what we are dealing with here. This game pops off at 8 p.m. That's the first half. So let me move over to full game spreads and totals. And here we go. So we have Jacksonville opening up. Wow, look at this swing. Jacksonville opened up as a 1-point dog at Pinnacle. They're now 3-point favorites. This total opened up in 3.5 at some books. This total opened up at 125. It's now at 125.5 or 126 at some books. Jacksonville comes in off their third win in 4 games, 77-48 beat down of UNC Wilmington at home as 3-point favorites on Saturday. They shot 55.1% from the field, 64.7% from 3. Their last 2 losses have been on the road. There's very tough competition, 55-44 loss at Minnesota and a 69-58 loss at Georgia. Southern Miss comes in off their third straight loss, all on the road. They were last seen getting blown out 66-41 at Southern Illinois. That was 10 days ago as 10-point dogs, so they come in fresh. Pete, Jacksonville, Southern Miss. Any feel here?
Yeah, this was one that I did bet, and I got minus 1.5. I didn't get I'm seeing some kind of opening line where Jacksonville was a dog. I didn't get that one. I took them at minus 1.5 just in case if I think there's just a little bit of a wrong line. If I hadn't gotten it at minus 1.5, I'd probably still bet it at minus 3. Although, as this line gets higher and higher, I'm liking it less and less. Definitely Jacksonville's a play here. I did bet it at minus 1.5. I'm sure that's what Maxwell Smart likes here. And I'd probably give it at minus 3 as well. What do you think, Max?
Unfortunately, Pete, I'm looking the other way.
Really?
I'm looking on the other way on this game.
Wow. Okay. Let us know why.
Yeah, so this reminds me of a situation and a number that goes back to the Lamar game. A team in Lamar like Jacksonville that is guard heavy, that is dribble drive oriented, that is going to run a ton of ball screens. That's Jacksonville. And Southern Miss was able to rebound from what I believe was a bad first half and win that game outright as a 5-point dog. Now, they haven't been at home in a while. They've been getting their ass kicked and smacked around on the road. I think that when you have a guy like freaking Ty Hardy, that's going to be the big difference in this game. I think that when you look at this group, like, they have to get on the offensive glass. They have to extend possessions. They have to defend the rim. They have to make this Jacksonville team beat them from the perimeter. And while I do like Jacksonville having Jordan Davis and Kevion Nolan on the floor at the same time, just not enough for me. So I think that with Tyler Stevenson, he's going to be the difference maker in this game. He's the kind of guy that can give you a big 20-10 type game. He's going to need to do that while cutting down on his turnovers. I think that the best way that Southern Miss can play this game is to muck it up, turn it into a rock fight, and not allow Jacksonville to get into shooting rhythm. I think that they can do that at home. I probably don't think that they can do that on the road. And I'll take the 3.5 points and once again go against the line movement.
Jimmy the Bag, I might seriously hedge out of this one on my bet. I'm glad I beat the move, but yeah, Maxwell Smart. Yeah, I mean, I did a basic analysis, which is probably why the market has moved as it has, and the basic analysis has a lot of value to it, but not as much value, in my opinion, as Maxwell Smart's in-depth analysis. Yeah, I think I'm going to personally hedge out of it. And I'm definitely not going to leave Jacksonville as an official play here, Jim.
I love it. Just such a fascinating. It adds so many layers of fun when we get to watch the game, knowing that Max is going up against this big move with such confidence. Max, unfortunately, I can't. That was a stale line that they had offered up. It wasn't out there. I can't find it 12. I can only find 11.5 for the Alcorn State first half. Sorry.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. God, I wish, but no juice there. And then here we go for the Jacksonville spot, a plus 3.5, and also that plus 3.5 is minus 105. Plus 3.5 is minus 105 at Bodog. So let's get Max there. So Max is on Southern Miss plus 3.5 at minus 105. And there you have it. There's questions coming in. And for those questions, you have to join our big NCAA basketball show at 5 p.m. Eastern that Max hosts beside Connor Mack. And that is our NCAA net profits. But we do have...
Very, very quickly, Jennifer Luches asking, what about the total? It was a low total when it opened. I had a slight lean to the under at 126.5. Now it's even lower at 125. So that's why I had also Southern Miss team total under at 64, maybe as a play that I wanted to give. But as far as the total is concerned, I was leaning under, even at 126.5. That's my take on the total. What do you think, Max?
Yeah, I think that with Southern Miss's new front court and lineup strategy, they want to go bigger, they want to go slower, and they want to cut down the possessions in this game. I think that that's what they're going to do, and I would have to lean towards that way also, Pete.
Okay.
Next up for us is some of our showcase plays of the day. The first one from Matty Ice, another capper who's not concerned about markets moving against him in NCAA basketball. The taint play of the day is UNC Asheville that opened up minus 4.5 at Tennessee Martin. Then 3.5 came on the board and Bet365 hanging a 3. So let's ask the guys what they think about sweet taint. Pete, UNC Asheville minus 3.5 at Tennessee Martin. What do you think?
I actually did not get a chance. I'm a little bit under the weather, so I didn't actually get a chance to look at that one.
And Maxwell Smart, what do you think of Matty Ice's look here?
Yeah, I think that as long as Asheville's able to score near the rim and Tyjon Jones and LJ Thorpe are aggressive, the way that they press and try and turn you over before you get over half court is definitely going to play well on the road. It's just a matter of how long they go to that style and if they abandon it, if they get down heavy and the press keeps on getting broken.
I like it. Next up, we have Ron Crawford. His spreadsheet play today in NHL is San Jose Sharks. I love that we are riding together on that spreadsheet play, San Jose Sharks. And then his college basketball play is on UNC Greensboro. UNC Greensboro. I'm going to pull that up here in a second. UNC Greensboro opening up as 8-point dogs. The market agreeing with Ron Crawford down to 6.5. Pete, did you get a chance for Towson Greensboro?
Yeah, I have no opinion. I definitely didn't bet it.
And Maxwell Smart, what do you think of the spreadsheet play today by Ron Crawford?
Yeah, it's an interesting spot. I just worried about Jason Gibson continuing to go off like he has since he's returned from injury for Towson, and the physical bully ball that Greensboro is going to try and play against Towson is something that they can turn it around on them. My issue with Greensboro is always going to be, can they stay out of overtime games, and can they get Keyshawn Langley scoring 15 to 17 points? And I'm just not sure about that. So it's a pass from a side perspective for me.
All right, let's review Maxwell Smart's action again. You can catch Maxwell Smart from Monday through Friday on our NCAA Net Profit Show at 4 p.m. Eastern. He's on the over 149.5 in VMI Wake Forest. He's on Monmouth at plus 100. He's on the Alcorn State double up, first half plus 11, full game plus 21.5. And Pete is on Wichita State under team total under 75.5. And then Max is going up against this giant market move. He's on Southern Miss plus 3.5 at minus 105 from Maxwell Smart. We have the taint play today, UNC Asheville minus 3.5, and the spreadsheet play today in college basketball is UNC Greensboro. Absolutely. So let's give them that number here. So 6.5 at Showtime, but was at plus 8 opener. Maxwell Smart, thank you so much for rolling with us and hammering college basketball. We love having you on every day, and we get you again tomorrow, which is just glorious. Max, any last words for these great cappers supporting the show?
Yeah, no, obviously appreciate everybody sticking around for me to come on. Hopefully it is cupcakes and not hand jobs under bridges. And of course, love your pets, love your neighbors, unless they make noise at 5 a.m. and play a piano. Then go bang on the door and tell them to shut the fuck up. That's a Maxwell lesson. That's a Maxwell Smart lesson of the day, Jim.
That's beautifully put. There he goes. Maxwell Smart. Follow him on Twitter at CBMS420. CBMS420. Follow our man Maxwell Smart. All right, let's review all action. Here. Mississippi Kid said the bowl game of the year, Ole Miss +1, says take it to the bank. We have in NHL, nothing in Vegas, Boston. Although if Pete wants to add anything, we will. Yeah. I'm interested in that under 1.5 in LA Kings, Tampa Bay Lightning. I'm also interested in that under 6.5 in the Senators' first period in Ottawa, Florida. I've been trying to get under these 6.5 totals in Florida, and it's been hurting me. Pete ran with me on the Flyers -1. I love it. Montreal, Pittsburgh, we've stayed off. Pete's on the Detroit team total over 2.5, and with Barzal being out, Detroit's now become a pretty big favorite. Pete is on mini moneyline -145. I'm on Minnesota -1, and the Hurricanes team total under or the under 6. I'm going to decide between those two, and I'm going to look at the juice, but I think I'm leaning towards Carolina Hurricanes team total under. Then the under in Buffalo, Winnipeg, is it going to move to 6? If it does, I would like to get underneath it. Is Buffalo's 18.8% power play going to be able to take advantage of Winnipeg's 69.2% penalty killing and Pionk being back? I'll have to study that a little more. Pete's on Dallas -1 at +110. Slatsy did tell us during the show that Rupi Hintz is out. So he's not coming back from the flu at this point. So we'll have to see now if Radulov is coming back or if any of the other players are dealing with it. Then the Rangers team total over 2.5 from Pete. I'm going to move. Let's see. So we know that Taves is out now, and I really think he's a hell of a hockey player. Great defenseman. Part of the reason why they are so good. They're so strong on the back end. How much has that moved the line in New York, Colorado? About 10 cents. About 10 cents. Okay. And Pete's on the Rangers team total over 2.5 -117. And I need to know if Georgiev's going to be in the lineup. But I just want the Rangers here. I want the bounce back. Columbus, Vancouver, no action for either Pete or I. Pete moved on San Jose -1 at +115. I'm already on that spot. Jose, who is white hot. And we are going to close the show with just to hear that breakdown he did one more time on Friday. That cashed 4-0. Plus 9.01 units. Jose's on Curry over 26.5 points at -123, and he has hit 11 of his last 12. And I'm very impressed. Raptors, Brooklyn, no action here. A lot of COVID issues, a lot of injury issues. Then Dutchie gave us a Knicks +5 at -110 at Pinnacle. I want to roll with that. I like that. The Puck Bunny play of the day is Dallas under 5.5. Puck Bunny play of the day from Mike M. Dallas under 5.5. Then we have no look on Phoenix, Portland, but I would take Portland here. I would do that, and I don't know if I have the balls to do it. Then we already have gone over the NCAA action, and that, friends, is our show today. Pete, it is a pleasure rocking with you every Tuesday, my man. Do you have any words of support, love for our Cappers in the Chat?
No, I didn't prepare anything, but I can for the next show if you want. I can prepare a statement to wrap things up. I'll write something down, write something meaningful down. I would be happy to do that, Jim.
I like that very much,
but there's not
Mr.
going to be a
Loshak.
show next week, or is there? I can host it myself, I guess.
Yes, I haven't spoken with our low baggers, but I am taking some time off when I go down to LA. So this will be the last week of the show as you see it in front of us. We have to take advantage of that. I'll still be doing the football show while I'm gone, but that will be it for me. So I do believe that Pete is going to be rolling next Tuesday. Salah.
We'll work it out.
Salah. But that will be that is news that I haven't quite let people know about. I've never missed a show before at Pop Source Radio, so this is very uncommon.
It's like Cal Ripken. Cal Ripken's breaking the streak right now.
Yeah, I am breaking the streak. Jared TG's on Flyers, Wild, Rangers, Sharks, maybe the Canucks and Kings Lightning first period under 1.5. Yeah, that was Jared TG's look. I do find that an interesting look. I'm not sure if I'll pull the trigger off to see what the juice associated with it.
By the way, on top with Pete going Salah on Tuesday, I will not be here because the Frisco Bowl is on Tuesday.
Oh no! Okay, okay. We can find
big
a ringer.
Salah.
Pete's really
big
Salah
for Pete Loshak. I can't wait.
It probably will be a disaster, but again, that's good for eyeballs. You know what I mean? You want to either be great or horrible. Just don't be in the middle. That's the worst thing. Unless you're exactly in the middle, and then you can promote that, which I have done many times in my career. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it works out.
I love you, Pete. Thank you so much for rolling with us, and spectacular work. By the way, those of you still rolling with us right now, on this show, Pete is hitting at 58.4%, and that is just an unbelievable number. Since
October 19th, which is when I started tracking my own picks.
No, because I added in the October 12th.
Did you? Okay.
Yeah. So that's the way I've seen it. I mean, that's the full NBA record. That's the full NFL record. That's the full college basketball record. That's the full NHL record. Now we could add a few more college football games if we want to go back, but this is the real deal right here, and I mean, very, very, very impressed with your run here. Very, very impressed.
I'll tell you what, if I have a nice winning day in NHL today, I'm looking at my card. That's like 2/3 tailing you. You know what I'm saying, Jimmy the Bag?
Well, it's us together as a group, and the Cappers in the chat. It's all of us working together. But I got destroyed last week, so I need to have a winning week here badly here. But that is our show for today. Pistol Pete, thank you for rolling with us. I want to see this one more time, so I'm going to pop up the breakdown from Jose that went 4-0. He hopped on the show late and went 4-0 plus 9 units, and it was a thing of beauty. I hope you guys tailed. So before we put a very end to the show, I would like to see this one more time just because of the sheer brilliance. Now, Pete, you don't have to stick around if you don't want to.
Oh, I will. I'm here to the end, baby.
All right, let's just take a look. This is 4-0 plus 9 units in 2 minutes. If anybody tailed.
And I have a poo-poo platter of picks for you for the end of show squad as well.
All right.
First of all, I'll definitely join you with your CFL action. I know when Jim has that look in his eyes, he starts talking in that sweet voice of his, that low voice, and it means he's confident. So we're going to go ahead and tail the under, the first half under. So shout out to you, Jim. I don't know if you knew this, Jimmy, but there's a pretty big UFC card this weekend.
There is, yes.
And, Jim, one of the main events features Juliana Pena. And do you know where she resides? What her @name on Twitter is? What her nickname is? Jim?
I don't.
The Venezuelan Vixen, Jim. Plus 600. She's going to beat Amanda Nunes' ass. I don't care how big and scary she is. Amanda Nunes can beat my ass, but guess what? Juliana Pena, the Venezuelan vixen. We're a country of upsets. We're always counted out. We're always downtrodden. We're always in poverty. But guess what? Some of us, we reach up for the stars and we win. And that means Juliana Pena plus 600, the biggest dog out there, biggest upset in UFC history. Let's go.
That's getting a lot of love from the chat. Let's Go Brandon just said no in giant letters. And Billy Friedrich says Pena going to get scorched. Juliana Pena plus 600.
Falcons plus 2.5. Cam Newton stinks at football. Pretty simply.
I'm very nervous about this spot that we're on. It's now a plus money spot at 2.5. It's now Falcons plus 2.5 at plus 101 at Pinnacle. And I'm on it too. And I'm very nervous about it.
I'm going to take the Cowboys minus 4.5. I think it's been a lot of talk about the Washington football team, a lot of talk about their momentum building up, and I heard our man Steve Smith say that backup quarterbacks always show why they're backup quarterbacks at the end of the day, and I think Taylor Heineke is a backup quarterback.
I'm nervous about your Cowboys spot as well.
Stop being so nervous, Jim. Just ride with me, Jim. Me and you together again. Let's go.
You know, no word of a lie, I'm extremely impressed with what you've done on the show from a producing standpoint and from a capping standpoint. And those numbers that we track for honesty and accountability. And often they hurt us by tracking them. Often there's times that we're, and like I said, we were going to completely cut the NFL show. And now I have had 7 straight winning weeks. Sometimes you need your back against the wall to fire at your best. And what you've done is extremely impressive. 11-1 run plus 17.18 units. Your ROI on the show now, and I guess this is our 8th month, is 9.80%. So
It's the haters. The haters are sick. You know who I haven't seen today? Jimmy the Bag. Where's my man TJ at? I want the haters. Shout out to my man Lesko Brand. He already apologized, so I appreciate you. Pete, I'm just doing this to get the attention of my father, and I think I finally have his attention now.
Yeah?
I think so.
Okay. On behalf of all of us, Ron Walsick said, providing good material for the movie script, Pete and Jimmy.
Yeah. Oh, we got to do that. I'm hanging. That's what I'm doing all this shit for. Just something. Let's make it happen. Oh, man.
I think this should be the crescendo.
Go ahead.
This should be the peak of the movie right here. Hitting the plus 600, feeling like a badass. And from here now, it's all downhill. This is where I make my decline. This is where I get into the hard drugs. And this is where Jimmy has to smack me around and say, get out of it, Jose. Get out of it. And then I make my climb again.
Yes.
Oh, man. Banana Grapes wrote, they hate us because they ain't us.
Yes,
and
that's facts.
Then he added it, ain't us.
No. Banana Grapes. Just remember, they hate us because they ain't us. Just remember that.
Because they hate us. All right, I love you guys. Thank you for all your support. We have the NFL show at 8 p.m. It's going to be very difficult. Not only do we not have buys, but we have COVID issues all over the place. And I've hit 7 straight weeks in a row, only plus 0.55 units. But, Pete, a winning week is a winning week. Black's to black.
Yeah.
Half of the Browns are on COVID, too, by the way. That's breaking news.
Oh, God. It's just never ending. On behalf of Pistol Pete, Loshak, our producer, Jose, our leader, Jeff Slaughter, and all of us here at Pub Sports Radio, thank you so much for all of your support here. Let's Go Brandon, Banana Grapes Key, Ken Peacock, Ron Walsek, T-Mac, Dan T, Fat Wally, Sammy Calmer, Dav Fenn, Michael Robertson, Mark Schillingberg, Cab, Debo. What a great group. Top Set, Nikolai Jubinski, Ethan Davidson, Elliot V, Tom and Tom, James Lill, Puzzler, Nathan Cerna, all you guys, thank you so much for everything and for all of your support. On behalf of all of us, let's get fucking paid. Let's get paid today. Leche. Hey, those bookmakers!